At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. Friday Night Baseball presented by Time Warner Cable. Now, last year, the Miami Marlins were the talk of baseball. A host full of stars, a brand new ballpark, and high expectations. But an underwhelming season for Miami, and they tore the team down. They fired their manager, and now these Marlins have started from scratch. They brought in some familiar faces, guys toward the end of their careers. They've got some young players as well as they try and patch it together in 2013. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you as the Mets open a three-game series against the Miami Marlins. It's a very different Miami team than it was last year. They've got a first-year manager in Mike Redmond, the former Marlin catcher. They've got a whole bunch of unrecognizable faces, but they've also got maybe the best power hitter in baseball in Giancarlo Stanton. What a year it's going to be for him, kind of naked in that Marlins lineup.
Well, they've got him hitting third in the lineup, and really he's a cleanup hitter. Last year hit 37 home runs despite missing a little over a month of the season with knee issues. Led the National League with a .608 slugging percentage. He's a legitimate power hitter. Strikes out a lot, struck out 43 times, doesn't walk. Well, he has no protection in this lineup. He's off to a 1-for-9 start. They're not going to pitch to him, Gary, and no one should with this lineup, but he has no protection. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of adjustments Giancarlo makes.
The Marlins have scored just one run in their first three games, getting swept by that excellent Washington pitching staff. The Mets, on the other hand, off to a 2-1 start after taking 2 of 3 from San Diego. Mets have gotten great starting pitching their first three games, but now comes the back of the rotation. Johan Santana out with his second capsule surgery, so it's Jeremy Hefner who takes his spot.
Well, this is really life without Santana now, and Jeremy Hefner, of course, got that spot in the rotation. He was outstanding during the entire spring. Of course, you guys who watch him know he mixes up a lot of his pitches, and he is a strike thrower.
And back in the big leagues after last season in the minors and hurt most of the year, Alex Sanabia gets another shot in this Marlins rotation.
Really a lot of injuries last year. Had a groin to start the season, a tough oblique, and then had shoulder problems, but now back in the big leagues to take the spot of Eovaldi and Alvarez, who are hurting with shoulder.
So it's the Mets and Marlins opening a three-game series at Citi Field. Another cool, windy night in the big town after a gorgeous afternoon. All the action coming your way on SNY. Time Warner Cable. Watch even more sports on more screens in the house with Time Warner Cable Sports Pass, the best value in sports. Call 800-TW-CABLE. By Honda. By Geico. By Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Audi, truth in engineering. Get to Citi Field for opening weekend as the Mets host the Marlins tomorrow and Sunday at 1:10 p.m. Tickets start at $12. Find the best prices at Mets.com or at 718-507-TIXX, the only place to get tickets through Game Time. Here's your drive around the majors presented by Audi. Prince Fielder, a couple of home runs. Tigers beat the Yankees 8-3. Yankees 1-3 to start the year. Josh Hamilton heard the boos in Texas, monumental boos, and then he went 0-for-4 as the Angels lost to the Rangers 3-2. And Chris Davis, can you be off to a better start? 5 RBIs today, including the go-ahead grand slam in the bottom of the 8th. Davis for the Orioles has 16 RBIs in the first 4 games, the most since they started counting RBIs back in 1920. Mike Redmond, the new manager of the Marlins, brings his team into Citi Field to face Jeremy Hefner and the Mets. First pitch coming right up. 3-mile-an-hour gusts out of the northwest as we approach game time. There's the Marlins starting lineup brought to you by Hyundai. The veterans Pierre, Polanco, and Dobbs dominating the top part of the batting order around Giancarlo Stanton, as the Marlins have scored just 1 run in the first 3 games of the season. They have a 167 team batting average, and that's what they take into tonight's game against Jeremy Hefner.
Well, you see his statistics there. Those are the stats, the Caesars Atlantic City stats of Jeremy Hefner in those 13 starts, 4-7 record. Pretty high ERA, but much better in spring training this year.
And we'll take a look at the Lexus Metropolitan defense. And Valdespin out there in center field had 12 starts, as you can see there, with those lovely graphics we got thrown up at you. He's getting his start out in center field.
First start of the year for Valdespin. Colin Cowgill started the first 3 in center, and Jeremy Hefner's first pitch misses to Juan Pierre, who had a good year last year with the Phillies, now 35 years old. for 11 to start the year, and he fouls back the fastball, and it's 1-1.
They didn't score very many runs up there in Washington to open up the season. They got swept, scored 1 run in the process. Not a whole lot of hitting, but pretty good pitching staff.
Well, if you face a 3-game series against Strasburg, Gonzalez, and Zimmerman, there might be a lot of times the team score 1 run in 3 games this year. 2-1 to Pierre, and he fouls back the fastball. 2-2. Corey Blazer, the young home plate umpire. Jim Joyce, the crew chief at first. Jim Wolf. There's Jim and Ed Hickox round out the crew, all wearing their gloves against the gusty wind tonight here at Citi Field. And Pierre, a tough man to strike out, goes down swinging to start the night.
Well, with this difficult wind blowing in the face of Hefner, he goes to the breaking ball, late breaking right on that outside corner.
Little backdoor slider up, and he swung right under it. A little tardy too. Pierre's had a wonderful career, lifetime 297 hitter in 13 seasons.
1 out and nobody on. Here's Placido Polanco, who, like Pierre, spent last year with the Phillies, had his worst season and just a .302 on base percentage and a little over 300 at bats for the Phils. Now 37 years old, and there's the curveball from Hefner for a strike in unlikely fashion. The first 2 games of the season, Mike Redmond had Placido Polanco hitting cleanup.
Yes.
For the first time in his career. He's gone away from that plan yesterday and again today. He'll tap her back to Hefner. And 2 easy outs for Hefner to start the night. Jeremy Hefner made 13 starts last year. He gave up a lot of hits, but walked only 18 batters in 94 innings. And was a pretty nice extra starter for the Mets the second half of last year. And Terry Collins was talking about the way he bounced back from that horrid start he had against the Phillies when he didn't retire a batter and then went 7 scoreless his next start as Giancarlo Stanton fouls one back. And that's the kind of resilience that you need to have in a relatively inexperienced pitcher.
Well, that's what the manager looks for.
Yes.
Greg Dobbs on deck. Now this is Stanton and his numbers: 93 home runs. He's only 23 years old.
It's really only 3 full seasons, so pretty impressive power numbers.
And even last year only had 449 at bats and still hit 37 home runs. That's an awfully good ratio. A home run every 12.1 at bats, the best in the majors. And it's going to be interesting to watch as this series goes along, and with the Mets and Marlins playing 18 times this year, how the Mets pitch to Stanton in different situations with nobody around him in the lineup who scares you.
Well, their book on him has always been to throw him a lot of breaking pitches. I think at a relatively young age, he's a very good breaking ball hitter.
2-2 from Hefner, and he gets him with a high fastball. A very good first inning for Jeremy Hefner. Gets a 1-2-3 with a couple of punch outs, and the Mets come to bat. Let's check out your Geico Mets starting lineup for Terry Collins tonight. Jordany Valdespin making his first start of the year, goes in the leadoff spot. Daniel Murphy had most of the day off yesterday. He's back in the lineup. Otherwise, it's the same unit that's been out there each of the first 3 games of the season. And the Mets take on 24-year-old Alex Sanabia.
Sanabia from Chula Vista, California. You can see by his numbers he has not pitched in the major leagues since September of 2011. Those are the Toyota numbers for you on Sanabia.
Most of his major league experience came in 2010. He made 12 starts for the Marlins that year. 2011, 3 appearances, 2 starts. So he's really been away from the major leagues for most of the last couple of seasons. Valdespin leads off, 0 for 3 to start the season. And he takes a strike from Sanabia. Valdespin getting the start in center. We knew that somebody other than Colin Cowgill would start there tonight. We thought maybe it would be Kirk Nieuwenhuis, but Valdespin gets the first call for his offense. Nieuwenhuis more on the ball club for his defense.
You can see Sanabia as a sinker ball pitcher, sinking change.
Always been more effective against left-hand hitters than right-hand hitters because of that changeup.
You know, Gary, if I were making up the lineup card, you'd be more apt to think about putting Nieuwenhuis in there because the Hefner pitching gives up a lot of fly balls.
Daniel Murphy on deck. And the changeup popped up. Brantley racing for it, but he can't get to it as it lands in the front row. Well, the Mets wearing their new blue uniforms. They've had this style of uniform before. They wore them as their alternate Los Mets jerseys last year, but this year it goes in the rotation as the designated alternate jersey.
I like it. I like the color. I like the piping down the white pants.
I like the orange. Yeah, the orange piping. Blue's my favorite color, so I like the uniform.
Yesterday the Mets broke out new caps with the orange bills and the white outlined letters. So they're unveiling the new looks early this year. Valdespin hooks one into right field, and the Mets have a leadoff hit. So Valdespin has his first hit of the season.
Loves that ball down, Keith, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Good breaking ball, wants it down and in, and that's even out of the strike zone. That's like what Mookie used to do when he was red hot. Pick it off the ground.
So the Mets have the leadoff man on, and now Daniel Murphy, 2 for 10 to start the year. Mets scored 19 runs in their first 2 games against the Padres, all to just 1 run yesterday on a 9th inning home run by John Buck. Mets had opportunities to score earlier in the game, but bypassed all their chances. They were in RBI situations 5 separate times in that game, but unable to cash in. You see the difference for Murph, as it is with so many hitters, between getting ahead and getting behind. And from a hitter's perspective, Keith, is that a feeling of knowing, being able to narrow down what's coming after 1-0 as opposed to 0-1?
Well, 1-0, you're in a, you're hitting. Pitcher's got to throw you a strike. Number 1. I'm a little bit surprised that it's that low on Murphy 0-1 because you still got 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Murph's too good a hitter.
But I think especially with Murphy, we've seen him at times when he gets behind in the count get very defensive.
Yes. And they've told him in spring training, Daniel, and I had a chat with him, don't be afraid to strike out. I mean, you're just kind of just feeling for the ball. You can't do anything with it. You strike out 82 times, so what?
So you let it go sometimes.
Take a rip.
Could hit and run here too if you wanted to.
2-0 with Valdespin aboard. He's running, and Murphy takes it. It goes off Brantley's glove. Valdespin sliding into second, and even though he pops up, the ball came right back to Brantley, and no thought about going to third. So it's a stolen base for Valdespin, his second.
Well, this is what Valdespin brings to the plate, to the table. And that's speed, and something the Mets lack at the top of the order. That's why I think that I've been kind of pushing more playing time for Valdespin. I think he's earned it. He's got a good spring. And here he is in the middle of things.
By the way, Brantley, who we saw some last year after he came over in the trade from Detroit, known more for his bat than for his glove.
Yeah, he's been rushed to the major leagues as far as his defense is concerned.
3-0 to Murphy with Wright on deck. And Daniel takes ball 4, and the Mets have the first 2 men on. So the Mets looking to strike first with David Wright coming up.
We'll take a look at the Coors Light Marlin defense, and you can see Polanco over there. He broke in back in '98 with the St. Louis Cardinals. I forgot he played for the Cardinals. It's been that long. 3-time Gold Glover, won it in 2 positions, I believe, when it won second base also. He's had a very, very nice career.
Career that began really to slide last year, and so the Phillies decided to go in a different direction. Got Michael Young to play third base this year. Here's Wright, who's 2 for 10 to start the year. David with 2 runs batted in. He's got a couple of on base in his first at bat. He bloops one. The first baseman Dobbs was not looking at second base. Otherwise, he might have been able to double off Valdespin, and they get just the 1 out. They did not call the infield fly rule because the ball wasn't that high in the air.
And Dobbs, I'll give Dobbs a little break here. He's really a third baseman, although he's played a lot of first base, but he just kind of fell asleep here.
Second base is still there when you're playing third base, right?
That's one of the funniest things you've ever said.
Robbie's a very funny guy.
So now Ike Davis will step in. By the way, Dobbs is the 4th string first baseman for the Marlins. They've got Logan Morrison on the DL coming back from knee surgery. Casey Kochman hurt himself the other day, pulled a hamstring. He's on the DL now. So they're down to fumes at first base. Double play ball right at Echeverria. And the young shortstop starts the 6-4-3 as Dobbs comes down in the bag cleanly. And that ends the inning. So an inning that started promisingly for the Mets. 2 pitches, 3 outs for Sanabria. The turn by Solano for the 6-4-3. Dobbs showing the ups. Millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Greg Dobbs leads off in the second for Miami and takes outside from Jeremy Hefner, who worked a 1-2-3 first with a couple of strikeouts. Dobbs played a lot more than anybody had anticipated last year for the Marlins after they began to clean house in the middle of the season. Had over 300 at bats. Justin Ruggiano on deck.
Hey, the 2 years he's been with, well, actually 2011 it was the Florida Marlins. He played 120 games. 134 games, excuse me, had 411 at bats. So for a backup player, he's gotten a lot of playing time.
Now 34 years old. Originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by Seattle out of the University of Oklahoma. Not too many non-drafted free agents have careers this long. And now Hefner, who walks very few, is behind on Dobbs, 3-1. Hefner walked only 2 leadoff hitters in 96 innings begun last year. So this is a spot where Dobbs can certainly expect to see something to hit. And he does. Flies one out to right. Bird back to the warning track near the wall. It's out of here. Greg Dobbs with his first home run of the year, and he gives the Marlins a 1-0 lead. So Dobbs put in the cleanup spot for the second straight game by Mike Redmond, gets a 3-1 pitch to hit, and he takes it out of the ballpark against Hefner.
Well, this is only the second run scored this season for the Marlins, both off solo home runs. Ruggiano hit a home run yesterday in Washington, and now Dobbs here gets him on the board. Fastball 3-1 upstairs right down the middle.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that ball carried.
It did.
Well, the wind is gusting out that way out of the northwest, and that'll carry a ball out to right.
It's just so unusual to see a ball carry in this ballpark.
Well, we've seen a couple, I think, in the first few games of the season, because that's the way the wind has been prevailing through the first week. Ruggiano had a career year last year. At age 30, he hit .313 with 13 home runs and just 288 at bats. And the Marlins are hoping that he can produce something along those lines this year. As he went around in the half swing, 1-2. Now the plan was at the beginning of the season for Ruggiano to maybe share center field with Chris Conklin, but even with a right-hander on the mound tonight, it's Ruggiano getting the start. And he hits it sharply. Nice backhand play by Tejada. Can he throw him out? He does. Beautifully done by Ruben Tejada on a blistering one-hopper for the first out.
Oh, Ruben's sure-handed, that's for sure. Beautiful backhand, Gary, as you said. Beautiful throw. Just a really nice play.
So one hard out after the Dobbs home run, and now Rob Brantley, the left-hand batting catcher. Brantley, who came over in the trade from the Tigers last summer, takes inside for ball 1. Brantley 2 for 7 to start the year. Hit .290 last year with a .372 on base percentage and 100 at bats for Miami. Change up for a strike, 1-1.
You never know today's game. It's almost an automatic ring up. I'd be gun shy up there, and he checks swing.
Two-1 from Hefner, and Brantley takes at his feet, 3-1. Second time in the inning Hefner's been behind 3-1.
So I know it's not a science, but you feel it's so much geared toward the pitcher as far as the check swing.
I think it's
more
all
in your day.
I think it's all part of speeding up the game too, to be honest with you.
And there's ball 4, so Hefner issues a rare walk. 1 out and 1 on. Well, the Marlins were in danger of becoming the first team ever to be shut out 3 straight games to start the year. They avoided that, but the last team to score only 1 run in their first 3 games was the 1988 Orioles, who started out 0-21.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Oh my goodness, that's what the announcers did. He opened with a bag over their head.
Well, they fired Cal Ripken Sr. in the midst of that streak, and Frank Robinson took over. I think Cal was, what, 0-6, something like that, and then the streak just continued and continued through most of April.
Can you imagine?
Danny Echeverria, who came over from Toronto, that 12-player deal in the offseason that shipped Jose Reyes and Josh Johnson and Mark Burley up north. Echeverria, regarded by many as good a defensive shortstop as there is in the game already, but his bat is going to be the question.
Well, AAA, he hit .312 in 102 games last year.
Curveball outside, but last year 126 at bats for Toronto, just a .280 on base percentage. So,
Well, he's a hacker, and
they've got some concern.
he doesn't walk, that's for sure.
23-year-old from Cuba, defected in '09. He defected right about the same time as his Cuban teammate Julio Iglesias, who is with the Red Sox, also a shortstop. Also known for his glove more than his bat. Of course, the Mets had a pretty good Cuban defensive shortstop in Ray Ordonez. And that's a guy who Echeverria is sometimes compared to.
I didn't get to watch him play a lot, but I know that, you know, when you go on about a player, and you certainly do about Ordonez's defensive abilities. You saw him play a lot, Keith, right? Ray Ordonez?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Ray could pick it. Still have to give the edge to Ozzie, the glove.
Well, Ozzie did it for so much longer.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray had 3 or 4 of the best years anybody's ever had defensively. Echeverria with a base hit, so it's a rough second inning for Hefner. 3 times he's gone to a 3-1 count. He's paid each time. Home run, walk, and now the base hit for Echeverria.
Well, this is the problem with Jeremy Hefner. It's the reason why he doesn't walk a lot of hitters, is because he doesn't have the weapons, if he gets behind in the count, to get people out. And we've seen that, as Gary said, 3 times now.
And that ball was right down Broadway, too. He's going to be on the corners. I don't say it when I talk about Ozzie. I'm not diminishing Ray. Ozzie was just that good.
Donovan Solano had a really good rookie year last year. 3 for 9 to start this season, and the second baseman takes a strike. Well, I think you have to put, you know, some guys like Luis Aparicio and Omar Vizquel in that conversation.
Templeton rate at all?
Tempe was too erratic. Gosh, he made 44 errors the first year in St. Louis. I saved him around 15.
That's very kind of you.
A little bit too much plate. It's a blustery night.
And the slider misses to Solano, 1-2. Now there's Ray Ordonez. His 96 through 99, that stretch, he was as spectacular and as efficient, after only won 101 straight games without an error, even making all those spectacular plays, as anybody has ever been. But 2000, even he got hurt in 2000.
Yeah.
The FP Santangelo slide at second base in L.A. and he was really never the same after that. But even before that, his game had slipped a little bit, and you know, he never really developed at all as an offensive player, and that certainly limited his value. But boy, was he fun to watch.
It was quite an infield that ball club had over there. Fonzie at second.
Wright coming in, the wind grabbing it. Infield fly rule is called at the last possible moment as David makes the catch. The umpires waited a long time with David chasing that ball down in the wind before ruling for the infield fly rule.
Well, always take heed of the weather conditions when you start a ball game. Eye to the wind, the flags. Pick up a clump of grass and throw it up in the air, see which way the wind's blowing.
This is one of those nights, I think, that you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. Here's Alex Sanabi, the pitcher, with 2 out and 2 on it. He dribbles one down to right. Tough there. Play for Wright, and he makes it perfectly to end the inning. David Wright with another Gold Glove play to get Hefner out of further trouble in the second. But Greg Dobbs leading off the second with only the second run of the year for the Marlins. Puts them up 1-0 in the middle of the second. The hospital for special surgery. Alex Sanabia got himself in and out of trouble in the opening inning. Now he has a 1-0 lead as Marlon Byrd is set to lead off in the home second. Byrd 3 for 11 to start the year. 0 for his last 5. A lot of the Met hitters cooled off in a hurry yesterday.
Oh, they sure did. Amazing what a little left-handed soft tosser will do. And then Luke Gregerson comes around completely different with the big hook from the right side.
They didn't have much of a chance against him.
It's funny to see Marlon Byrd, right? All the spring training games and all that sun. He always wears the sunglasses, and now he's got the what my mom's raccoon eyes, right? Because it's all white around his eyes from the wearing the sunglasses.
You see the difference between the first 2 games and what transpired yesterday. And the Mets trying to get the offense back in gear. Got the first 2 men out in the first, but within 2 pitches, Sanabia was through the inning. Now Byrd, Duda, and Buck in the home second. And Sanabia misses low and away. And Byrd stopped the swing in plenty of time. 1-0.
Well, yesterday's ball game, Mets struck out 14 times, 10 from the 3 through 6 hitters.
This young umpire behind the plate, Corey Blazer, has a very emphatic strike call and a nice strike zone.
I guess he didn't study in the Tim McClellan school.
It's quick, Gary. Quick call.
I'm still bearing the scars. Well, a Washington pitcher finally gave up some runs. Dan Herron pitching for the Nats tonight in Cincinnati. Gives up home runs to Todd Frazier and Zach Cozart in the second inning.
It's almost like Sanabia starts from the stretch with that windup. I do not like it. Why? You don't really get a lot of push off. You don't get to use your legs as much in that position.
Just off the plate to Byrd, 2-2.
He's got a tiny little step and kind of really just uses his upper body and arm. Guys who really step back and have that high leg kick, more legs into the approach to the plate.
On 2-2, Marlin grounds 1 to short, and Echeverria in front of it. Good toss to get him 1 away.
So you can see right now in an inning in the third of Sanabia, he is a sinker ball pitcher. You, as a hitter, your approach has got to be, now a left-hand hitter, you're going to get predominantly sinkers away. Make him get it up. Don't be fishing for that sinker. He's the type of pitcher that needs to expand the strike zone.
Here's Duda, 2 for 8 with a homer and a double for his 2 hits. Lucas has been pulled late in all 3 games this year, and I think he's going to be pretty much a 7-inning player with the Mets are ahead this season.
You know, Keith, in the signs of hitting, you just said something interesting to me. So when you look for the ball, if it starts above your knee, you feel like it's going to end up below your knee?
Yes, it has. For Sanabia, it has to be mid-thigh. Start out mid-thigh for it to be a strike. Preferably, you'd like it higher because then it's
waist high, right?
But anything that starts with 3 inches, the umpire's calling time here. Oh, he went to the mouth. Is that what he did?
Went to his mouth when he was
on the rubber.
Yeah. You're allowed to go to your mouth now, but you have to wipe it off.
Yeah.
That's a rule that came in a couple of years ago.
And really,
I guess the third base umpire, Ed Hickok, said he didn't wipe it.
This should be a night where a pitcher should be able to go to his mouth, Ronnie, huh?
Well, you can blow on your hand, but if you go to your mouth, you have to wipe it off before you throw a pitch. So he goes to his mouth there. Well, I guess he was on the rubber.
Yeah, it's being on the rubber is the problem.
That's why Hickox made that call. So now he's behind on Duda, 3-1. So it's a ball when you go to your mouth like that. Big cut by Lucas. Nice to see him swinging hard on 3-1.
Well, he swung the bat hard all spring. A lot more aggressive.
But we talked so much last year about guys not being aggressive 2-0-3-1. And that's a big piece for a power hitter like Duda. Gets this one out to right center and over comes Stanton. And there are 2 out.
They go to your mouth on the rubber, be eyeing a comeback. I mean,
It'll be very curious, Gary, Ron, to see what the Mets do second time through the order after they've seen Sanabria. He's got some good movement on his sink. He's got some good sinking action.
Well, here's John Buck, who has swung the bat better than any Met over the first 3 games of the year. He's had multiple hits in all 3 games. 500, couple of homers, 5 RBIs. Met catchers produced only 5 home runs all told last year, and Buck already has 2 in the first 3 games.
Now he hit 2 home runs in the first series, and that only done by other Met catchers. Jerry Grote did it in '74, Gary Carter 85 and 88, and Piazza, Mike, did it in '04.
Buck going up against the team he played for the last 2 years, and he lines one over short, and he's got himself another base hit. So Buck just continues red hot the first week of the season, now 7 for 13.
Well, red hot. You always like to get out quick, especially if you're a new player on a new team. And who would have thought that Jerry Grote would be in that list?
Didn't hit a lot of home runs.
No, he didn't.
Hit just 5 that season in '74.
But who would have thought Al Weiss would have hit a home run in the World Series against Baltimore?
And another one in a big game against the Cubs earlier that season. Now Ruben Tejada bats with Buck at first and 2 down. Tejada 2 for 10 to start the year. You know, talking about Buck, we focused a lot on his defensive skills and the poor offensive year he had last year for the Marlins. But Terry Collins made the point, it's a good one, that when the Marlins picked him up from Toronto, he was coming off a 20 home run season in which he hit 281, and the perception of Buck at that point was that he was an offensive player. Over the bag, that's a fair ball for Tejada. It hits the tarp. Buck will go to third. Pierre charging it. He's got a very weak arm, but Tuffle is not going to chance it, and he'll stop Buck at third. It's a double for Ruben Tejada. That's an interesting call for Tuffle right there because of Pierre's arm.
Well, he was just so shallow, though, so I don't think he could have taken a chance.
Second double of the year for Ruben. 3rd hit of the year. Remember what a terrible spring he had, and Buck doesn't run all that great and really didn't have a chance to score here. This was really a no-brainer to hold him up.
This is a play you'll see often at Fenway Park where it really juts out.
Also, Jeremy Hefner has it in his hands after he hit a home run last year against Joe Blanton in his second start. One of 2 hits he had last year in 20 at-bats. Knocked down by Brantley. Ball and a strike.
That was picture perfect by the young catcher. Gets the glove out of the way. That was the key there. Just takes that ball off his chest protector. That will really dent it in front of you. Watch this, Keith. Picture perfect. Right off the sternum.
2-1 now to Hefner.
Well, you can see here that Tuff makes the right call here, and Tuff's been very aggressive. He's already had a first series of the season against the Padres. Been very aggressive. Sending runners on doubles from first.
He sent Buck on the double by Tejada, that first run the Mets scored on opening day. And you know, if anybody else is in left field, you don't even think about it. But
you know what it does tell you, though, is as a shortstop, if the ball goes down the line like that, not hit particularly hard, you've got to get out there just in case.
Echeverria's got a cannon for an arm. That's a whole different story. I want to get back to what we were talking about with Buck just a moment ago. It's amazing how the perceptions of a player can change. Whereas, you know, John was considered, as I said, when he went from Toronto to Florida, coming off a huge offensive year, considered more of an offensive catcher than a defensive one. But now 2 years later, the perception of him has changed drastically.
And remember, he hit a home run in his first year off Mike Pelfrey, and people that follow the Marlins said he get very homer happy.
Hefner is down on strikes to end the inning, so the Mets get a couple of 2-out hits, but Sanabria holds a 1-0 lead for the Marlins after 2.
because of what he does behind the plate. We thought our lineup was going to have enough power, and it was all the talk of, hey, look, John Buck will come here, give us some experience behind the plate, which is valuable, and maybe it has taken a hit off. Look, he just go do what you can do, and so far he's been as big an offensive force as anybody in our lineup.
And he has 7 for 13 now with his base hit his first time up tonight. That mask is something else. He had it specially designed for coming to New York. It's got the New York theme to it.
Well, I remember our old friend Charlie O'Brien, who played with the Mets when he was in Toronto. He had had a tough week, took a lot of foul balls in the mask, was fed up with it, was at a hockey game in Toronto, saw the mask that the goalies had, and designed one himself. And that's where it started. OB 15-year career caught 13 Cy Young Award winners.
Juan Pierre bluffing a bunt, which is a huge part of his repertoire. Corners in as always against Pierre as he moves his feet 2-1.
Well, one thing you do when you get with Pierre is you get a guy that's an aging veteran that can still play, but also brings an example. Though there's the bunt, David's on it.
Not a great bunt, and it comes up for right, and that's the first out.
To me, it looked like he was trying to smash that past right.
You're trying to, so what they call the old butcher boy.
Slug bunt.
Yeah, slug bunt.
I read something about Pierre today as you look at the replay here. Yeah, he did of that.
He knew
slug bunt.
He's a hustler. He runs everything out.
Remember when the Mets had Timo Perez? He used to try that all the time. Never worked. Never worked.
Timo.
Hey, the Mets don't get to as far as they went in 2000 without Timo.
I understand that.
I know he made one kind of bonehead base running play in the World Series, but
he had talent. He was a nice player.
He had a long career too. He was playing as recently as last year. I'm not sure where he is right now. Buck takes a look, but that's back in the crowd. Anyway, go back to Pierre for a moment. I read an interesting stat on him today. The last 3 years, he's third in baseball in infield hits. The first two are Ichiro and Jeter.
Oh, wow.
It's 3 players who are all in the twilight of their career, and they're the top 3 in baseball the last 3 years in infield hits. Doesn't really figure, does it?
Well, with Ichiro, it's his batting style that gets him out of the box clean. But I think with Pierre and Jeter, you can say one thing. Their entire career, they've hustled down that first base line. Full out all the time.
It's a good curveball by Hefner to get head on Polanco.
I mean, his curveball, maybe it's the wind, but it has late break, and it's almost like it's taken a left turn. When you watch those really good bowlers where the ball goes down the lane and it stays straight for about half and then makes a left turn, that's what his curveball looks like tonight.
Like it's catching.
Yeah, right?
Had a rough second inning, but limited the damage to just 1 run. Ahead on Polanco 1-2. Had a shot up the middle. Sliding stop by Tejada and not in time. And Tejada, who made a great play going to his right in the last inning, this time sliding to his left, but just not quick enough to get Polanco.
Well, Polanco's never been a real fast runner here. Nice play by Ruben. There's no wasted motion and strong throw. Polanco smelled that one.
Talk about an infield hit. Keith and you and I were down on the field. They had about a half hour of infield practice before BP.
Thought we were still in Florida, and I was cold, so I said we can't be. Is it spring training?
So this time Stanton bats with a man on. Hefner struck him out, throwing him 1 pitch in the strike zone his first time up, and he throws him a first pitch slider for a strike. And then throws the fastball by him.
Well, he's got an Achilles heel. You're right, Keith. Up in the strike zone. Lets the ball down.
Well, the Bloomberg stat we got today was very interesting about the home runs. He's hit 60% plus were on off-speed pitches.
Lost his bat that time as he fouled it off.
And that was a hanger by Jeremy Hefner, and he's got to be disappointed. 0-2 count. Now you've got to bounce the ball in front of the plate. You've got to throw it head high, but not a pitch like that. Ooh, the tough part about Stanton is he can take you out the right field also.
It's a very defensive swing right there. Stanton kind of doesn't feel comfortable up the plate.
So he didn't do well last year after falling behind 0-2, but who does?
How about only 9 bats where he's 0-2? That's not very many.
Coming in.
And he just got a piece of that. Trying to check the swing.
So this is a good scouting report on Stanton. I really feel he's so strong. You're doing him a favor, Ronnie, throwing him anything off speed or a breaking ball. You got to pound him and establish inside with the fastball.
You can throw him a breaking ball low too, but you got to bounce it. Have to
Expand the strike zone on him.
Greg Dobbs, who homered his first time up, on deck. Again, the 0-2, and that slider is ignored. 1-2. Stanton, 37 home runs last year, missed 37 games because of injury. That's a big number of home runs, playing 3/4 of a year, and now it's 2-2.
Isn't it interesting that here's the second at bat and starting to lay off that pitch a little bit at Stanton already? Wow.
Look at that statistics there. Wow. Tony Conigliaro, Ronnie.
Yep.
He has now turned 23. Check swing. He went around. Strike 3. Corey Blazer not asking for help, making that call himself and catching a little heat from the Marlins dugout for that.
Jeez.
Third strikeout for Hefner. Second time he's gotten Stanton.
I'd have to get in an umpire's face here. Come on. It might be a strike in AAA ump, but not in the big league. Let's go.
You at least have to ask for help.
Yes.
The home plate umpire shouldn't be calling that. Second year in the big leagues for Corey Blazer. Two out in the inning. Polanco still at first, and now Dobbs, who homered on a 3-1 pitch his first time up. Hit 5 home runs all of last year. And takes a fastball for a strike.
Hit the home run on a 3-1 fastball. Got ahead in the count.
That was Hefner's undoing in that second inning. 3 times fell behind 3-1. Hefner last year, 94 innings, 9 home runs allowed. Not a terrible total. Throws that fastball by Dobbs, and it's 0-2.
You know, you're probably saying to yourself, when you look at the defense, you see Brantley on deck. Reggiano on deck. Is Murphy's out in the grass. Why? Well, Dobbs doesn't have a lot of speed, so you can play that deep.
You see Murphy do that less this year than he did last year, his first full year at second base. Still got that lip of different grass right behind the infield dirt, which makes it a little tougher. See the line there right in front of Murph, where the grass looked like it had to be resodded after the lacrosse game here.
Yeah, I'm mad at myself. I wanted to go out and see how that looked before the game today, but like I said, they were out taking infield practice.
Buck sets up outside, and Dobbs able to foul it away. Last year, the Mets won 12 of 18 from Miami, equaling the most they had ever won in a season series with the Marlins. That was a Miami team that moved into a new stadium, which was heavily invested in terms of superstar players. But they lost 93 games, and they broke it all down. And starting from scratch. And even now, with players like Stanton and Ricky Nolasco, there are questions whether they're going to be here for the duration or whether they will be trade bait.
There was talk this winter about trading Giancarlo Stanton. I was like, are you kidding me?
I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility.
You're right. You're right.
It depends what direction they want to go. I mean, you look at what Houston did. I think they have a little better game plan than the Marlins do. Popped up. Murphy coming toward the line and puts it away in fair territory to retire the side. An infield hit and one left. 1-0 Marlins in the third.
the way they have stripped down. Not the first time in their history that's happened. They did it after both of their world championship years, but this after a one-year bomb. You see the way the payroll ballooned last year when they brought aboard Jose Reyes as a free agent and brought in Mark Burley and brought in Heath Bell and brought Nazi Guillen to manage the team, and then Jeffrey Lurie decided after 93 losses, well, this didn't work, let's try something else. Well, they basically traded every recognizable player outside of Stanton and Alaska.
A last place finish when most everybody picked them to win it. To win the division.
Jordany Valdespin single to right, stole a base in the first inning, his first start of the year. Mets down 1-0 as they come to bat in the third. Well, for more on the Marlins, let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt, whose report is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Kev?
Well, Gary, Logan Morrison was supposed to be the starting first baseman for the Marlins, but he's had a hard time coming back from knee surgery, so he's not expected back to maybe June, depending how he rehabs. Greg Dobbs is actually the fourth Marlins first baseman. That's a dire situation after putting Casey Kotchman on the DL yesterday. It's so bad that infield coach Perry Hill basically had auditions today. He took 5 guys in the clubhouse earlier before they went out on the field and went over things like positioning, where to move around, how to move around the bag. Then, Ronnie, you talked about that extended infield that they had. They took 5 players out to first base with Perry Hill and went over a bunch of things, taking ground balls and just throwing to second base. And I'm not talking about 5 first basemen. Greg Dobbs has got the most experience here, and Jordany Valdespin's 2 for 2. He's got a single, takes a big turn, but he'll go on back. A leadoff runner for the Mets here in the 4th. Take a look at the replay as I'll continue to talk. Greg Dobbs is out there. Then you got Chris Valaika, Chris Coghlan. Both guys have no experience at first base. Austin Kearns has very little experience at first base. And Miguel Olivo, the catcher, last time he played first base was 06 with the Marlins. They only had 3 gloves. That's the other thing. Only 3 first base gloves. Chris Coghlan said he was out there with a second base glove. He said, hey, it's what I had. I never played it, but if it gets me in the lineup, I'll play it. Desperate situation for the Marlins right now at first.
It's amazing, isn't it? 4 games into the season, you're down to your 4th stringer. As Murphy takes a strike, but Kotchman hurt his hamstring running out of ground ball night before last, and led them to that desperate situation. The other guy, Joe Mahoney, who we saw in spring training, was on the shelf as well. David Wright on deck. Valdespin stole a base when he got aboard in the first. But I want to go back to the decision to break things down for the Marlins, because it's really similar to what the Astros have done. And it just feels as though Houston has done a more complete job of, rather than trading out of desperation, instead bringing back prospects who can be part of their future. And although the Marlins do have some very good prospects, some of whom we saw in spring training, Christian Yelich comes to mind immediately. Jose Fernandez, who we're going to see here on Sunday, their best pitching prospect. It doesn't feel as though they've gotten the same kind of return in terms of prospects that the Astros have. Murphy lines one to Echeverria, and he's going to double off Valdespin, but the ball hits the runner, and Valdespin is safe. So Valdespin, retreating to first base, got nailed with the throw from Echeverria on what should have been a double play. He's safe at first, but he's hurting.
I think it got him in the elbow. Off the end of the bat, soft liner. I think it's the elbow or the tricep.
That's got to hurt a night like this.
Well, number 1, Valdespin right there. Not a good base running on his part.
Oh, it's very interesting to see the shortstop. He had his eyes on first base when he caught that baseball. Wow.
Yep. Let's catch a break if Valdespin's okay, which he appears to be. So he's at first with 1 out, and now David Wright, who got sawed off and hit a little blooper to the first baseman his first time up. And Valdespin is picked off. Well, they got a break, and Valdespin gave the break back. 2 out.
This is falling asleep here.
Well, he was going to steal here, and this is what you get with Valda. He's on his way. He just got picked off major. Valdespin's a loose cannon. He's got a lot of talent.
Why are you running first pitch with David right at the plate?
Exactly.
Interesting that the catcher John Buck over there to talk to Valdespin.
Well, Buck is, we've talked a lot about the way he works with pitchers. He's got that kind of personality, and he's a veteran player who has some gravitas in that clubhouse very quickly. David lines one off the glove of Polanco, and right is aboard. Polanco normally so sure-handed at third base, but unable to snag that line drive, and they'll score a base hit.
Ball's ripped by David. Fastball down just off the tip of the glove, off the webbing. Got to think Polanco maybe 5 years ago would have made that play.
So the Mets have their second hit of the inning. Mets have 5 hits in 2 2/3 against Alex Sanabia. Now here's Ike Davis with right at first and 2 out. David has stolen a couple of bases in situations like this already, and he takes a strike.
Ooh. Ike lost a little composure yesterday's ball game and kind of moaned at the umpires a little bit with some close calls. Still, I thought that pitch was a ball there.
It's not yet in Jose Bautista territory.
No.
Did you read about that? Bautista talking about the level of competence of the umpires not being up to his level of competence. And
really?
You're going to get yourself in big time trouble if you do that. I don't care how big a star you are.
Well, Ted Williams, right? He'd tell the umpires, hey, my eyesight's much better than yours.
A lot of guys said that Ted Williams called the ball game when he was up at the plate.
Sanabia ahead 0-2, and he comes inside with the slider. 1-0 Marlins on a home run by Greg Dobbs off Jeremy Hefner in the second. Alex Sanabia, first big league appearance since late in the 2011 season. It's been a pretty long time away for Sanabia, but not as long as the guy sitting in the Marlins bullpen. The former Met John Maine, who made their ball club, has not yet appeared in a game. Maine's last outing was May of 2010, that game in Washington, when he got pulled just a few pitches into the game, and has not been back to a big league mound since. And in fact, John Maine not the only former Met in that Marlins bullpen. They have John Roush as well, who pitched for the Mets last year.
John Maine's greatest game in 07 at Shea Stadium was against this Marlins team.
The Paul Hoover infield hit to break up the no-hit bid in the 8th.
A swing and bunt.
Yeah, 14 strikeouts.
Yeah, good number.
2-2 to Davis, and it's popped up. Juan Pierre waiting for it to come down. Uses 2 hands to be sure, and the inning is over. 2 hits and 1 left. Still 1-0 Marlins after 3. Well, there's your Friday Night Baseball feature presented by Time Warner Cable. Notable losses for the Marlins from last year. They have scattered to the 4 wins. Reyes, Bonifacio, Johnson, Burley, all in Toronto. I guess that's not 4 wins. That's a win from the south blowing to the north.
A lot of glue on that page there. Wow.
Justin Ruggiano leading off in the 4th against Jeremy Hefner, and he bounces one to Tejada at short. And there's one away. So Ruggiano grounds out for the 2nd time. Rob Brantley comes up. Brantley walked his first time up. In Atlanta tonight, Justin Upton hit a home run in the 1st inning, and the Braves lead the Cubs 1-0 in the 3rd. That's 3 home runs for Justin Upton.
Wow.
And BJ still looking for his first hit of the season. 0 for 11. So it's been a different beginning to the year for the Upton brothers.
And the Nationals are getting their. It's early. It's in the bottom of the 3rd. The Reds jumps out early, 5-0 on them.
Zach Kozar with 2 home runs in that game. Fly to left. Tough angle for Duda, and it goes over his head. And Brantley to second with an opposite field double. Not the best route by Lucas Duda.
No, he misjudged the depth of this line drive. Here's the swing. High change, looks like. And Lucas just didn't break back initially. If he had broken at an angle back, he would have made the play.
You're right, Keith. He needed to go like on a 45-degree angle instead of straight across.
So a runner in scoring position for Danny Echeverria, who singled up the middle his first time up. Marlins now with 4 hits against Hefner, including the Greg Dobbs home run in the 2nd that's been responsible for the only run of this game. And that one low inside for ball 1. Mentioned the Braves leading tonight. Something happened to the Braves yesterday that hadn't happened in ages. They lost a game that Chris Medlin started.
That's right.
They had won 23 straight Chris Medlin starts, which was a major league record. But he got bested by Cliff Lee in the Phillies.
Well, we talked about it before the game. All 3 of us were just chatting, and we all believe Cliff Lee's going to have a huge year this year after a disappointing one last.
Well, he's owed it.
Yeah, it really is.
Really, after winning only 6 games, despite pitching pretty well last year.
When did he get his first win? Jeez.
July, wasn't it?
Gosh almighty.
And that just misses to Echeverria. And now Hefner behind 3-0. He's had more 3-ball counts than he's accustomed to tonight. Not a good way for him to live. Jeremy made 13 starts for the Mets last year.
Sorry, Gary. There should be a freebie. A rookie player usually does not swing at a 3-0 pitch.
The center held. Echeverria, 23 years old. That's popped up. Davis watching it in the wind and stays with it with a bit of a stagger for the 2nd out. Get a preview of Monday's Mets-Phillies series opener with insider info and exclusive interviews. Plus, hear the latest in New York sports as Chris Carlin and Adam Shine debate the top stories of the day on Loudmouths, presented by Caesars Atlantic City, now at a new time, Monday at 5:30, only on SNY.
Keith, looking at the pop-up to David Wright earlier, this one to Ike, this is how it used to be on every pop-up at Wrigley Field or Candlestick Park.
Candlestick, and always, and I know the guys use one hand now, but a day like today where it's really blowing, they're going to intentionally pass Solano here.
So the pitcher Sanabia will come up with 2 men on.
Always use 2 hands on a pop-up. Just, I got first base is a big glove, but just play it safe.
This will be Hefner's 2nd walk of the day after Solano popped up his first time up. By the way, the wind is now gusting to 26 miles an hour, so it's getting a little stronger as the game goes along, blowing out of the north-northwest.
It'll be night, beautiful, hopefully 2 beautiful days coming up, Saturday and Sunday.
Tomorrow, though, you're going to have that north wind blowing in, so it'll be a little chilly.
Keep the window closed.
We don't have a window. We don't want a window. Come on. Don't need no stinking window.
No, this is something that, is a philosophy. Terry Collins, we've seen it in his managerial career here, as that 8th place hitter, base open, they walk them to get to the pitcher.
What would you want to do, Ron?
No, I want to go after Solano. He's he's not a 300 hitter.
I had a hunch.
Brantley at second, Solano at first with 2 down. Sanabia grounded out to David Wright his first time and takes a strike. Sanabia just 1 for 26 in his major league career. Poke to second, 1 hopper for Murphy. And so the intentional walk leads to the out and keeps the Marlins off the board. John Buck will get a turn at bat when the Mets come up in the bottom of the 4th inning. He has been front and center these first 4 games of the year. Buck to the plate when we come back to Citi Field. Made their debut for the Las Vegas Stars. Zach Wheeler had a so-so outing in his season debut. Travis d'Arnaud had an outstanding game. The Mets' future catcher had 2 doubles, 2 walks, scored 4 runs. Wheeler, on the other hand, had some good moments, but some not so good ones as well. Out after 3 1/3, he walked 3 through 86 pitches in that 3 1/3 inning stint. So Wally Backman had to come and get him at that point. So not the greatest of first games for Wheeler, but a terrific one for d'Arnaud as he readies himself to take over the catching reins if he can get him away from John Buck the way Buck is going.
Right.
For more, let's check in with Kevin.
Talking to d'Arnaud throughout the spring, Gary, it was interesting to see how comfortable he got as time went on, because when he first got there, when camp first opened, I mean, he was besieged with media people talking to him, myself included, every day. And at one point a week in, I said, anybody ever come up and talk to you from the media before? He said, no, never. This is a first for me, and I'm just kind of getting used to it. He was always very cordial, but I think very reserved. And as camp went on, he really got comfortable. In fact, the last couple of days of camp, I said, so are you feeling any pressure? Have you felt any pressure? And he kind of said, what pressure? He said, my camp for me, I wanted to come in and get back to having fun again. Not that I was worried about my knee, but after being off it for 9 months, I just really wanted to get back at it and work again. My goal to come in, and what I wanted to do is show my teammates that A, I'm a hard worker, and B, I'm a good person. As a base hit for Marlon Byrd for the Mets. And he said, I think, or at least I hope, that I'm doing that. I'm just going to go down and continue to work hard and to do my best. But you can see his comfort level, not only around the media, but around his teammates. We watch video a ton, and constant chatter with his pitchers, with John Buck, guys like that. So curious to see when we see him again, how that personality grows even more.
And important to remember, as Kevin mentioned, that d'Arnaud missed considerable time last year with the knee problem, which, even though they kept him around a little longer than people expected this spring, was the reason why there was no chance he was going to be on the opening day roster.
When I was traded to the Mets in '82, I was at Plant City with the Texas Rangers club.
Strawberry capital of the world.
Strawberry capital of the world. And they sent me over. I went to Miller Huggins Field to be introduced to the media. And there must have been 30, 40 people there. And I said, oh, this is a little different animal here being in New York. So it does really change.
That's if it's some bullets against Sanabia, including that base hit for Bird. He's aboard for Duda, who takes inside 1-1.
I talked to John Guerin, Bob Guerin, the Mets bench coach, and of course former Major League catcher, a lot about d'Arnaud, guys, and he was raving about a lot of different things. So the only thing we tweaked defensively for him is his stance behind the plate, just a tad, because he was very open, and the pitcher saw the glove, but only about half his body. We like to give the whole body and the glove, give the pitcher a little bit more to see back there. It was very slight. But he really raved about a few things. He said, I'll tell you what, I haven't been around anyone who's caught the low pitch and framed it better than him. He has this way with his wrist to kind of get down and catch it all in one motion, and it always looks like a strike. He's very, very good at that. And he said mentally, he's exceptionally sharp. I'll give you a perfect example. He said one of the spring games, this is when the pitchers started to hit after they got rid of the DH this spring. Adam Wainwright's on deck. Now, he said d'Arnaud doesn't know if Wainwright's a good hitter, and he is. And d'Arnaud was talking to Guerin, and he said, just watching him swing the bat on deck, I bet you he can hit. So Guerin said he picks up everything. Good signs.
It's interesting you talk about framing that low pitch, because that's something that Guerin was working with the other Met catchers on this spring, Buck, Recker, and Powell, to see if they could do it as well as d'Arnaud did it. And they were all perfecting that technique of framing that low pitch, snatching it in one motion to make it look like a strike on a ball that might be an inch or two low, which is not an easy thing to do if you think about how you have to turn your glove almost so that the back of it faces the pitcher, and you have to catch it in that narrow opening that's left. Two and two to Duda, who flied to right his first time up. And he has to pull out of the way. Full count.
Well, Sanabia throwing into the left-handed hitter in Duda. Got Ike out with changeups, but Duda, they pitched each hitter differently, and they're attacking Duda inside.
Only the second full count for Sanabia tonight, and they've both been to Duda, who has seen a lot of pitches early in this season.
You would think after that fastball up and in 2-2, he's going to get the changeup 3-2.
Bird runs, and Duda takes ball 4. He did get the off-speed pitch, and Sanabia missed with it. And Duda's aboard. Second walk given up by Sanabia, and the Mets have 2 men on. And now their hottest hitter, John Buck, will step in. Buck singled over short his first time up. Now 7 for 13. He's hit in all 4 games. Bird at second, Duda at first, and nobody out. Mets have had the bases littered with runners. They've had 2 base runners each of the first 4 innings now, but they've yet to scratch against Sanabia. And Buck attacks and fouls it back. Mets in their first 2 games this year went 10 for 19 with runners in scoring position. But yesterday and today combined so far, they're 0 for 8.
Well, Sanabia in the first inning had the same situation, first and second, nobody out, and got to pop up in a double play to get out of the jam.
That was against Wright and Davis. Here facing the 7 and 8 hitters, Buck and Tejada.
Well, the Mets in the first 2 ball games, 2 runs or more in 7 out of 16 innings, and now only that single run by Buck in yesterday's ball game in the last 12.
Tejada waits on deck. And Buck lifts one to left center. And Pierre edges over. Ruggiano calls him off. And Ruggiano's got it. Bird will hold at second base. So that's the first out of the inning.
Well, that was a good sequence of pitches from Sanabia right there, Ronnie. He went after him aggressive.
Well, the first time we saw Sanabia was at Hiram Bethorn Stadium in Puerto Rico, and a few seasons ago, and certainly not as polished as he is now. Had a hard time throwing strikes.
Yes, I was not impressed.
Well, let's put it this way. Sanabia is better now, and Keith is a lot less anxious than he was then.
Well, I was very unhappy that we had to go on that trip in the first place.
I remember that night very well. I think you had an early flight the next morning, and the game was kind of dragging.
Well, the good thing was the one good thing about it was you guys went on to Philly.
Right.
And you had a night game, and you took the night flight. You got into Philly. I don't know when you got. I didn't have. I got to sleep over another extra night in San Juan, and get the morning flight back to New York.
Who makes a 6 a.m. flight out of Puerto Rico?
Well, I wasn't 6 a.m. Actually, I flew to Florida.
Oh, okay.
I spent some time in Florida.
So you were making all that fuss about an hour flight?
If you recall, I played winter ball in Ponce in Puerto Rico one year, and I was
they tried to run you out of there, right?
I was awful. So I just.
So you had an escort off the island, is what you said?
Yeah, almost.
That's one of my favorite stories you tell, right? They used to pay you, and they had the gun near the lockbox.
Oh yeah, they paid you cash. Paid you in cash.
Yeah, to double down the left field line his first time up. And Ruben pulling off that slider, and it's 1-1.
That series, I think, was the hottest I ever was as a human being. I was sweating like Ted Stryker trying to land the plane, an airplane.
It was like we said, what genius in the commissioner's office thought this one up?
Well, at least they had good food for you, before the games.
I had a good time. Slowly hit. Echeverria with the charge. Solano makes the turn. Ooh. Almost threw it away. Had no chance to get Tejada at first. And the inning continues. So they erase Duda. 6-4 on the fielder's choice. 2 out.
Well, Sanabia went after Tejada with breaking balls and threw another slider. Broke off the end of his bat. Broke his bat.
2 in different throws now by Solano at second base.
The high one on the double play in the first inning that Dobbs was able to pull down, and this one, another couple inches to the right there, that ball's in the dugout and a run scores.
Just very interesting. Sanabia has called the catcher out a couple times. Why you would call the catcher out with the pitcher up is kind of beyond me.
I think they're worried about what happens if Tejada takes off in the first year. Now remember, the third to first play is now illegal in baseball.
Well, maybe that's it then, just to remind him. But, you're not going to take off with Tejada here. You want the pitcher to hit. And lead him off the next inning if you try a trick play.
2 out, first and third, and Hefner bounces one down to third, handled by Polanco, and he gets the force to end the inning. So again, the Mets get a couple of men on and can't bring anybody home. 1-0 Miami after 4. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. We go to the 5th inning. Top of the batting order coming up for Miami. This is the interesting inning that follows the decision to walk the 8th place hitter to get to the pitcher. Now, instead of having the pitcher lead off, you've got Pierre leading off the inning.
Very nice.
You see what it says there? Height 1 inch, width 4 inches.
How about that shirt, my friend? What were you thinking? Well, I
throw a beret on you could be wandering the streets of Paris.
You'd be on the Pont Neuf. Can you imagine with a beret?
Yes. Oui, oui.
Singing in the rain. Gene Kelly. An American in Paris.
Pierre is 0 for 2. He struck out and then tried a slug bunt and right threw him out. So your fans do want to know, because everybody asks me the same thing. I'm sure you hear it too, as Pierre sneaks one up the middle for a leadoff hit. And that is it ever coming back?
Well, I was told at a very, very young age, very sage advice, never say never. But it's going to stay off this year. Yeah? Yeah, it's going to stay off. I think that the Charlie Weaver reference alone would at least keep it off for the season. Well, I told you what the main issue is without the mustache. Is that my dad used to get mad at me and scream at me when I was a little boy, and I used to focus on his mouth. And I have my dad's mouth. So now I remember why I grew the mustache.
So what you're saying is, either you have to get used to having your dad's mouth, or you need to grow it back.
Or correct. I've come to terms with it. You could look in the mirror and yell yourself.
Polanco had an infield hit his last time up, 1 for 2. And Hefner finds the outside corner, 0-1. Polanco always adept with the bat, terrific hit and run guy.
He's a guy that'll take pitches to allow Pierre maybe to steal a bag. See that hook 'em horn sign by Buck. He gave 2 signs there, the hook 'em horns and then 1. That means to throw over to first base.
Stanton on deck, which makes this an enormous hitter for Hefner. Already down 1-0 with the Mets struggling to score runs tonight. Your city probables for the remainder of the series. Go back to the opening day starters tomorrow afternoon. John Neese, who was brilliant opening day, goes against Ricky Nolasco. And then Sunday afternoon, Aaron Laffey comes up to make the start in place of Sean Markham, who has a neck issue, and Jose Fernandez, who has not pitched above A ball. 20-year-old Cuban defector will make the start for the Marlins.
And Nolasco on opening day in Washington, if it wasn't for Bryce Harper, he pitched a pretty good ball game.
Gave up the 2 home runs to Harper, enough to beat him 2-0.
Very good hit and run guy, and Polanco here, veteran. 2-1 count is a classic hit and run count. Speed at first base. Marlins been struggling to score runs. I'd have to put it on here.
Not going. Polanco hits it out to center. Plenty of room out there for Valdespin for the first out. So Pierre goes back to first. So Mike Redmond, who was a pretty good contact hitting catcher in his day, opting not to play hit and run. He only retired 3 years ago. He has had a little bit of minor league managing experience, successful at that, and getting the call this year.
Do you not hit and run there because you don't want to run into a double play? You want to get Stanton up here? I don't know.
Negative thinking, isn't it? Would you rather have first and third for Stanton?
Absolutely.
Well, Stanton's been up twice and struck out both times. Pierre's going nowhere with Stanton at the plate. Stanton now 1 for 11 to begin the year. And Hefner runs inside.
Fastball up to his right side stand. He took a few of those fastballs up in the next at bat, and I thought he laid off this pitch, but not home plate umpire Corey Glazer. I will have to say Stanton looks more and more comfortable, though, as these bats pile up.
Gets under this one. Long run along the right field line for Bird. Murphy goes out, and Murphy handles it for the second out. So Hefner doing a fine job against Giancarlo Stanton tonight. He's now 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. There's one scary dude in the 3 spot in the batting order.
You ever see those hitters up, and he's one of them? It almost looks like he's going to hit a home run every time up.
That's the way Willie Stargell made you feel. Willie McCovey.
Stargell did not like, both those guys did not like holding a runner on first base with them up.
Bonds during the years when he was hitting him out. If you threw him a strike, you figured it was going to wind up in the drink. Here's Dobbs, who's responsible for the only run. He homered leading off the second. By the way, the Dan Herron's now given up 4 home runs in Cincinnati tonight. And the Nats are down 6-0.
Easy to do in Cincinnati.
Well, Herron did not have a good spring.
And he didn't have a good year last year.
He's about 5 miles an hour short right now in his fastball.
Well, maybe that's why the Nats decided to re-sign Chris Young. Maybe some concern there. 1-1 to Dobbs. Here's his home run.
Well, 3-1. That's a hitter's delight. That'd be 20 points on my batting average if I could have hit 3-1 every at bat in my career.
20?
Yes.
Probably more than that.
Oh, you think more?
What do you think you hit on 3-1?
I bet you.
Probably about 400, I would think.
Why don't we look it up?
Bet you were about to do that. I mean, if you figure the major league average with 2 strikes is what, about 200?
Yeah,
somewhere
a little under.
Maybe a little under. 2-0, 3-1. It's got to be 400, right?
Particularly with there's men on base.
The air more likely to be running here with 2 out. And a liner to center, but Valdespin's right there. And Dobbs retired to end the inning. So Hefner gives up a leadoff hit, works through that halfway through. 1-0 Marlins. Tonight, 8 current managers who are former major league catchers, including one in the ballpark tonight. 8 of 30. That's what, 27%. Top of the batting order for New York. Mets have left 6 runners on base over the first 4 innings. 6 hits and 2 walks against Alex Sanabia, but nary a run. And Valdespin takes ball 1. Valdespin's 2 for 2. And base running misadventures in the 3rd. Nearly got doubled off first. Got hit in the arm by a throw that saved him, and then promptly got picked off. And he pops this one up on the infield. And Echeverria puts it away. 1 out. Only the 2nd time in 5 innings Sanabia has gotten the leadoff hitter out. Now Murphy will bat.
I got all 8.
Of course you did.
I don't think I'd get it. That's the one. The most senior. Maybe not.
I didn't even know he was a catcher.
Oh. He might not be. He might not be.
The other ones are all right.
Yeah.
You're probably right, but I'm not aware of this particular guy's position. Here's Murph, and he skids one out to shortstop for Echeverria, and he gets him by a stride. 2 out. So 3 pitches, 2 outs for Sanabia, who is living right tonight. And David Wright will bat with 2 out and nobody on. Alex Sanabia last year, oblique injuries, shoulder injuries, 3 times on the disabled list. Made 17 starts in the minor leagues, had a so-so year down there, but healthy this year and making his first start in the big league since late in 2011, and so far so good.
Boy, I think it's so difficult to judge the first time you see a player, isn't it? Because light years away from when we first saw Alex pitch.
Well, we saw him 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's still only 24, so he was a very young player at that point. You see his numbers. 12 of those starts came in that 2010 season.
He's only on the mound because of the injuries to Nathan Eovaldi and Henderson Alvarez.
Both have shoulder problems. It should be rather short term on the disabled list. At least that's the Marlins' hope. Wright is 1 for 2, singled off Polanco's glove. A hard shot at the left field in the 3rd. Wright 3 for 12 now to begin the year. Now the Mets unveiled the new hats yesterday. Lost. Got the new blue jerseys today. Down.
What'd you think of the hats?
I like the new jerseys better than the new hats.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't mind the new hats.
Ooh.
Of course, the Mets also have the new batting practice caps that they wore in spring training this year. The Mr. Met logo.
There's the hat. I've always liked that logo.
Mr. Met?
Yeah, I do.
I'm very fond of Mr. Met.
That goes back to what, 60? What year did it go? That was 62.
Well, it was a very different looking Mr. Met back in those
days. It was horrid.
But yeah, the cartoon logo has been just about the same.
Yeah, I always like that.
Here's ball 4, and Wright is on base with a 2-out walk. 3rd one given up by Sanabia, and Ike Davis will come up with a tying run at first.
We'll watch intently here how he works Ike. And Ronnie, you mentioned it earlier. Ike's been getting a lot of off-speed stuff.
For having given up 6 hits and 3 walks, Sanabia's pitch count is surprisingly low. He's about to throw his 70th pitch here in the 5th inning. Davis is grounded into a double play and fly to left. 1 for 14 now to start the year. The 1 was a bomb of a 2-run homer. And he bats here with a man on.
I was talking to Ike after the opening day game. They had the welcome home Mets dinner. And he said the most difficult part is everyone kept coming up and congratulating him. Hey, great game today. It's like, well, maybe not.
The first opening day golden sombrero in Mets history. That's a mark. Good pitch by Sanabia on the outside edge. 0-1. I questioning Corey Blazer about it. Something just happened in Toronto that I don't ever recall seeing while he was a Met. Jose Reyes was thrown out at third trying for a triple. I don't think I ever saw Reyes, and I'm probably wrong about this, but I don't recall ever seeing him thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple. Left center field. On comes Pierre diving, and he makes the rolling catch. Juan Pierre timed it perfectly. If he misses that ball, it's at least a run. But he reaches out of the backhand and makes the rolling play to take a base hit away from Mike Davis and gets Sanabia out of the bottom of the fifth. Sixth inning, Justin Ruggiano takes a strike from Jeremy Hefner. Ruggiano's been up twice, grounded out to short both times. One of them a terrific play in the hole by Ruben Tejada. Marlins got a home run from Greg Dobbs in the second, and that has stood up. As Ruggiano swings and misses at the slider, 0-2. Hefner's given up 5 hits. He's walked a couple, one intentionally, struck out 3. Mets continue to get tremendous starting pitching. They've now given up 4 runs in 25 innings. The starting pitchers. Hefner's pitch count, though, getting up there over 90 now, and so Greg Burke is up in the Mets bullpen. Rob Brantley on deck, then Adeiny Hechavarria for the Marlins in the 6th. And Ruggiano hits the breaking ball foul.
Well, here's the play by Pierre to end the inning. A very nice play, backhand. Boy, he could have hurt himself there. If that ball gets by him, that's a run. But just got a great jump on the soft liner off the bat of Davis.
Another chance for Tejada. So 3 times Ruggiano has hit it to short. Ruben's gotten them all 3 times. 1 out and nobody on. Let's check in with the studio. Gary Apple is there with this game break. And Herron is out of that game after 4 innings in his first start for Washington. Here's Rob Brantley, who's walked and doubled over the head of Duda, who misread the ball in left field.
He might not be a familiar name with the casual baseball fan, but for people like us who watch the game every day, Zach Kozar is a real good talent. Shortstop for the Reds.
That the Reds didn't hesitate to trade away their other shortstop prospect, Didi Gregorius, who's very highly regarded So they believe in Cozart.
And they've moved their trying to move their other prospect Hamilton to center field.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton, the guy who steals 200 bases a year. Davis makes the play to Hefner, and they get Brantley for the second out. Now Echeverria.
It's a nice inning so far for Hefner here. Jerry mentioned the pitch count, but this is a quick inning. If he can do quick work here with Echeverria.
I would suspect this will be his last inning.
I think if you're the manager and your starter Hefner gives you 6 innings of 1-run ball, very happy.
Well, also, you know, this is not a spot start for Jeremy Hefner. He is in the rotation to stay, you know, for at least the foreseeable future. So you need to protect him. You don't want to push him too hard in his first start of the year. You know, it's a different situation Sunday with Aaron Laffey. Terry's committed to 1 start with Laffey. He said, we'll see how it goes and take it from there. I mean, Sean Markham doesn't look like he's going to be ready to pitch in the rotation anytime soon. But, you know, if Laffey can't find success, Colin McHugh might be the next guy on the radar. So they've got options there. But Hefner is, you know, Hefner's in that 4 spot now. It's not going anywhere. 2-2 now to Echeverria, who's 1 for 2.
Good 2-1 slider right on the black.
Hefner looking for his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. 3-2 on the way. And Echeverria bangs one down to third. 2 hopper for right. And the side retired. 1-2-3 go the Marlins in the top of the 6th. Burge will lead off the bottom of the 6th. Mets down 1-0. Our AT&T trivia question. We ask you the 8 current major league managers who are former catchers. Ronnie's got the list.
I don't know. Did I miss on one?
I think you missed one.
You missed one.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I thought Freddie Gonzalez was a catcher in his day. Obviously not.
Marlon Byrd leads off and takes high from Alex Sanabi as we start the bottom of the 6th.
And these are guys that played in the big leagues as catchers, or they were catchers.
All of them did.
Okay, well then you're right. Because Jimmy Leland was
a catcher, right? Walter Alston, who managed the Dodgers all those years, wasn't he a catcher? He had won at bat in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
It's the breeding ground for managers, isn't it? to be a catcher.
Well, for more on the Marlins former catcher turned manager Mike Redmond, let's check in with Kevin.
Well, Gary, you talked about he's only been retired for a couple of years, so he's so new to this managing thing, but he's a great personality. And I think because he's only been retired for a couple of years, he's got great connections. Obviously, he played with Juan Pierre on that championship team in '03. Kevin Slowey, who had a good start the other day in Washington in the starting staff. Mike Redmond caught Kevin Slowey's debut in Minnesota. So I said, what are the conversations like when you go out there? Are you a manager or are you his catcher? He's like, it's kind of a little bit of both. He was talking today about coming here and having great battles against Al Leiter. He said, I miss coming to Shea. I miss the smell of Shea. Someone asked what the smell was. He said, kind of stale. He was also talking about coming to New York, how he loves coming here. He said, I remember in '03 when we were playing the Yankees in the World Series, I was walking down the street with my wife. There was a street vendor selling Yankees championship T-shirts like they won the World Series. This was before Game 1. He said, I turned to my wife, I said, I think this is going to be a pretty good series for us, guys.
Well, he's got a guy in there in the dugout with him there, knows about Yankee championships. As Donald's almost let it go for his head, and might have heard footsteps from Solano, but he makes the play. Talking about Tino Martinez, who is the Marlins hitting coach now. You look at Dobbs almost bailing out.
Boy.
Had it all the way.
That's why you have that big glove there. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Lucas Duda. It might be Tino high to be on the rail.
There he is.
There he is.
One of the good guys.
Tampa native. Back in his home state.
Driven deep down the right field line toward the pole. Foul.
What a bolt off the bat of Duda. Into the Pepsi porch, but a couple of seats found. That's that bat speed Ike Davis was talking about the other day.
Wow. That's 2 seats over. That's it.
It's also a lot of strength. A very strong man.
Lucas has flied out and walked. We talked about he's been seeing a lot of pitches. 3-2 counts in his first 2 at bats. Trying to jump the first one there against Sanabia. And he gets drilled by the following pitch. Loud foul, followed by one in the back.
I don't think this was intentional here. It's a 1-0 ball game. Catcher set up inside.
That's the case of a young pitcher having the ball hit out of the park but foul, and did not want to make another mistake. Wanted to make sure that was in, and boy, he missed by 2 feet.
So the tying run at first with 1 out, and John Buck the batter. Buck is singled over short and flied out to center, 1 for 2. Sanabia is still working at a very low pitch count. This will be his 80th of the night. He nicks the outside corner. Alex Sanabia from Chula Vista, California, right outside San Diego. Ty Wigginson's from Chula Vista.
Oh, yeah? That's down San Diego area, right?
Ball and a strike to Buck.
I like Sanabia today, though. He's been in trouble when he's had to get the outs. He's gone with his fastball, Ron, and been aggressive, attacking the hitters.
Buck, the former Marlin. Hits it in the air to left, right at Pierre. 2 out.
Went right back at it after him, Ronnie, inside with a sinker.
It's 2 outs in a row. The last 2 at bats, he's gotten out. Buck out with the ball inside.
So now Ruben Tejada. Tejada has doubled and hit into a force play, 1 for 2. If Tejada can keep the inning going, Mike Baxter has come out on deck to bat for Jeremy Hefner. Mets have had base runners in every inning. They've left 7 aboard in the first 5. Down 1-0 in the 6th. See the wind rippling the uniform shirt. It's been a very breezy night. And Tejada watches the slider go low. 52 degrees right now. Wind gusting to 28 miles an hour. It keeps getting stronger. And Ruben takes another breaking ball off the plate. 2-0. Well, if you're Sanabi, you got to know that you're going to be facing Baxter if you pitch around Tejada here.
Very interesting one. Right after John Buck, the hottest Met hitter with fastballs, and kind of fooling around here with Tejada.
They got him out last time on that fielder's choice with the slider. Tejada hurt him the first at bat with the double down the line and the sinker down and in, Ron.
Fouls off the fastball. 2-1.
It's just the beautiful part of the game. I can remember all the at bats that I watch, almost every player, as a course of a game, and remember and catalog how the pitchers worked them each at bat. That's something I had to do when I played.
On 2-1, Tejada takes the fastball high, and now it's 3-1. Baxter looming on deck. Smiling because in Atlanta, Scott Hairston just hit a home run for the Cubs off Mike Minor.
Saw a lot of those last year, didn't we?
Scotty had a great year last year for the Mets. Now playing for the Cubs. Down the right field line, over comes Stanton for a look, but it's in the crowd. 3-2. Braves are up 2-1 on the Cubs in the 5th inning of that
game. Julio Teheran pitching for Atlanta tonight, I think.
Minor, isn't it?
Minor.
Oh, is it Minor?
Medlin went last night. Mike Dunn, the only lefty in the Marlins bullpen, alongside Ryan Webb.
He gave up a bomb yesterday to Jason Worth.
Worth at a 3-run homer to put that game away for the Nats. So now Judah will be in motion with 3-2 and 2 down. And Tejada fouls off another one. They'll sail under the seats.
I'm watching this young catcher for the Marlins, Rob Brantley. He hustles everywhere. He runs onto the field. He ran over there for the foul pop, ran back to his position. Nice to see.
He's got the old-fashioned helmet on.
Can't put logos on that thing. No Statue of Liberty.
He's calling his game. He's not looking into the dugout. He's called a pretty good game tonight, let me tell you. Aggressive game.
Duda runs. Tejada grounds one toward the hole. Cut off by Polanco. He snow cones it and gets him by a half a stride to end the inning. Mets leave another runner. That's 8 of them through the first 6. 1-0 Marlins after 6. baseball history. It was on this day, April 5th, 1972, that Yogi Berra was named Mets manager following the passing of Gil Hodges. On the same day, the Mets acquired Rusty Staub from the Expos in a deal that sent Ken Singleton and Mike Jorgensen to Montreal. Of course, Yogi and Rusty would help the Mets get to a World Series the following year in 1973.
And Rusty had quite a World Series. Remember the separated shoulder on the catch, and he had the great game where he hit the 3-run home run of Holtzman to left center field, I believe.
He had a great league championship series against the Reds and a terrific World Series against the A's. Greg Burke is on in relief of Jeremy Hefner as we go to the 7th.
Well, you see his numbers in spring training, but appeared in the second game of the season and up and down outing.
Had a rough go of it, gave up a couple of hits and a run. He faces Donovan Solano leading off in the 7th. Solano has popped up and reached on an intentional walk. Austin Kearns has come out on deck to bat for the pitcher as Burke runs that sinker inside. It's 2-0. Greg Burke, reclamation project, who was about to see his career come to an end last year in the spring with the Orioles, and it was Rick Peterson who encouraged him to drop down and go to this unorthodox sidearm delivery, and it paid off for him for a big year in the minors, and the Mets took a flyer on him this spring, and here he is pitching in the major leagues again.
Boy, almost more than a flyer. They put him right on the 40-man roster.
His only previous big league experience in San Diego in 2009. Two and two to Solano. Interesting that they've got Kearns on deck against the side-arming right-hander. They've got Chris Coghlan, a left-hand batter, available. Two, and Solano moves his feet. 3-2.
Just wondering if he's holding Coghlan in reserve, Gary, because really is Ruggiano a center fielder? Would you put Coghlan in center field?
No, but you might put him in left field, maybe, if you needed an arm.
I don't know if he's any better center fielder than Ruggiano is. The guy who had the best spring training in center field for the Marlins is in the minor leagues.
That's right.
That's Marisnik. Jake Marisnik looked great in spring. Kristen Yelich looked great in spring. They're both hurt in Double-A right now. Again, the 3-2, and Solano bounces one for Tejada, backs off, struggles with the hop, and the low throw skips by Davis. And safe at first is Solano. Well, Ruben backed off on that play, and it cost him. And that's going to be his third error in the first 4 games of the year.
He really misplayed this ball. He could have come in. He puts intent on the backhand. Remember, they worked on his backhand a couple years ago. And tried to, but I thought there, Ronnie, that ball's not hit hard enough. You get in front, you come in and get the short hop. The only time you use your backhand is when you can't get in front of it. If you can get in front of it, get in front.
So now the veteran Austin Kearns pinch hitting for Alex Sanabia, who turned in 6 scoreless innings, stranding 8 runners in the 6 innings. And Kearns takes the sinker for a strike.
Interesting. He could have used Sanabia to bunt here.
Yeah, or any other pitcher for that matter. But not looking for the bunt. We saw him eschew the hit and run play in a spot that seemed to cry out for it earlier. So Redmond,
I tell you what,
trying to let his guys swing the bat.
1-0 ball game. I'm pitching. I don't want to pass the ball off to anybody else. I'd rather lose it myself. But then the game's changed.
Terry Collins taking a look at his scorecard. Kearns now 32 years old, started out with the Reds, has never been quite what they expected him to be when they first drafted him.
Well, they found out right there that Kearns does not like the ball inside. You can go in there and get to where his pots and pans are.
First year when he came up with the Reds in just over half a season, he had .315, 13 home runs, and it looked like he was on his way, but he never had another year like that. It was back in 2002. Since then, it's been an odyssey for Kearns. Went to Washington, Cleveland, Yankees, and now in his second year with the Marlins. Now Burke on 2-1, misses with another sinker, and now it's 3-1. So Burke having trouble throwing strikes. Scott Rice, the tall lefty, up in the Mets bullpen, with the left hand hitting Juan Pierre due up next. And there's ball 4. And the Marlins have 2 men on. The error and a walk. Juan Pierre coming up. Let's check in with the studio. Get this update from Gary Apple.
Gary, thanks so much. Coming up tonight, the Knicks put their 10-game winning streak on the line at Madison Square Garden and going to have more on the mess at Rutgers. We hope to see you guys tonight. Gary.
All right, Gary, now Juan Pierre, and I think just about everybody in the building's expecting Pierre to sacrifice.
Well, you've got Polanco and Stanton coming up behind, so that's definitely going to be a bunt. Pierre, one of the very good bunters in baseball.
And I would imagine that's why, if you're Terry Collins, you don't bring the lefty in here to waste him on a bunt attempt.
Waste him on a bunt attempt, and also when you throw from the side like Burke does, it almost brings you to that third base line, so an advantage.
Both corners very aggressively in.
Pierre 1 for 3 on the day, including trying to slug a bunt past right. He squares late, gets it down. Burke to third, but not in time. Well, Burke figured the ball was bunted hard and straight and he'd be able to make a play, but just took too long. Now the bases are loaded.
Credit Solano here on getting a good jump on the bunt here. I can't second guess Burke here. This ball was bunted hard right back at him. He didn't waste a whole lot of time. Just a good jump by Solano, and he did beat it.
And don't forget, in the pitcher's behalf, Burke here, on that play, probably the catcher Buck is yelling 3-3-3.
So it's a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. Loading the bases with nobody out. Polanco the batter. Corners in, middle infielders back. And Polanco takes outside for ball 1.
And this is a guy right here, a veteran hitter, tough to strike out. You don't want to bring the infield in all the way. Like Gary said, the corners are in. A base hit here busts this game wide open.
Loves to hit the ball to right field with people on base.
On 1-0, Polanco goes the other way. He's got a base hit. Solano is in. Kearns right behind him. The throw heads toward third. It's cut off. Pierre is safe at third. A 2-run single for Placido Polanco, and the Marlins have a 3-0 lead. So an error, a walk, the sacrifice, runner safe at third, and Polanco cashes in, taking one the other way for 2 runs.
Well, we've seen Polanco over the years do this. The ball away, he goes that way so beautifully. And a nice, smart play by Bird here. He had no chance to get the runner at home. He threw to third base and almost got the lead runner. Anybody with less speed than Pierre, that's a big play, but Pierre still can run.
Kept it low enough to be cut off, and Tejada almost got him. Stanton swings and misses.
Good call there. It hit Cox just underneath the tag.
Stanton's 0 for 3 tonight. 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. Still nobody out of the inning. And he swings and misses. And Pierre did not break from third. Not sure if he thought that ball was fouled.
They wanted that fastball up and just really clank off the glove of Buck. I don't think Pierre knew what was going on, thought about it, but remember, home plate and the fence here is not very far.
Pierre
against the wall.
Pierre blew it right there. He should have scored.
Polanco went down to second on the play.
It's got to be a pass ball.
I would assume so. They haven't announced it yet. Now the infield comes in. 1-1 the count to Stanton. And he pulls off that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Good slider.
And was that strike three?
Strike three.
Okay, scoreboard had it wrong. So we'll give him the third strike. That's the first down of the inning. And now Terry Collins will bring in the left-hander with Greg Dobbs coming up. So a rough outing for Greg Burke. 2 runs home in the inning for Miami. They've got a 3-0 lead. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Scott Rice coming on for New York. Team professional season. Scott Rice is getting a lot of work in a hurry.
I was going to say, if you're a left-hander and you got a Mets uniform on, you're going to appear in a lot of games, and Rice has so far.
This will be his third outing. He pitched a 1-2-3 inning on opening day. A little rougher time yesterday. Gave up a couple of hits. Comes in here with runners at second and third and 1 out to face Greg Dobbs, who homered for the first Marlins run tonight. Pierre is at third. Polanco at second with 1 out. 2 runs home in the inning on a Polanco base hit. Up until that base hit, the Marlins have been 1 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Now Dobbs with another chance, and Buck has to slide over to stop that one. Well, so far the starters have certainly held up their end, including Hefner tonight. 6 innings, 1 run, but the bullpen not quite as fortunate. This inning began with an error by Tejada, which is a concern in and of itself. 3 errors in 4 games for the normally reliable Tejada. And that helped bring Burke's downfall. And Dobbs lifts one to right center. Slicing in is Valdespin. Tagging at third is Pierre. Valdespin slings it home. Davis cuts it off. Sacrifice fly for Dobbs makes it 4-0 Miami. Second RBI of the night for Greg Dobbs.
Well, Valdespin has to make all the pivot there. Really no chance, and not with Pierre. Looked deep enough. So,
and you see the infielder's arm, the kind of arm slot from the side.
So the Marlins have scored just 1 run in their first 3 games of the year. Have quadrupled that tonight. And now Justin Ruggiano, the batter, 0 for 3, 3 ground balls to shortstop. And Rice gets in it at the knees, 0-1. Miami 4 runs, 6 hits. The Mets no runs and 6 hits. 31-year-old Scott Rice getting his first crack at pitching in the big leagues.
Dobbs talking to Ruggiano here, just giving him the scouting report. Sorry, Brantley, giving him the scouting report on what he just saw off the left hand of Rice.
Correct.
Drive to left center. Duda cutting over deep in the gap. Can't get it with the dive, and it rolls back to the wall. Polanco is in, and Ruggiano stops at second base with an RBI double. It's a 4-run inning for the Miami Marlins, and they lead 5-0.
Well, it's a big ballpark here, and Lucas doesn't cover a lot of ground out there, and this is really a fly ball. Good effort, but he doesn't have the wheels to cover. The Mets really need to have a center fielder that can kind of, I think, shade a little bit towards Lucas's gap.
Well, the book hurt the Mets there. The defensive book. They had Valdespin playing in right center and Duda playing on the line and left, so that left center field gap was wide open.
Now Brantley, the 8th man up in the inning. There goes the runner Ruggiano, and he steals the base with no problem, as Rice paid him no mind at all.
Well, it's not Rice. I mean, it is Rice, but it's also the middle infielders who decided not to play on that particular pitch, not holding him on close at all.
So Ruggiano gets a stolen base, 0-1 to Brantley, and that just misses 1-1.
We'll see that defense, Keith.
Yeah, you can see Valdespin right here, shading to the opposite field, and I really feel that he needs to be. If they think the guy's hitting to the opposite field, he's got to play straight up.
And another drive, this one in the gap in right center field, and that one will go all the way back toward the warning track. Ruggiano is in on a double by Brantley, and the Marlins pull away at 6-0 Miami. A 5-run inning against the Mets bullpen after Hefner had held the Marlins to just 1 run over the first 6.
Well, Brantley with that hit, future hitting coach for the Marlins maybe will be Greg Dobbs, who gave him the advice on what Scott Rice is throwing.
Nope, that didn't get any sink on that ball. And up.
First 4 runs of the inning charged to Burke. The last one to Rice. Now Echeverria, the 9th man up in the inning, and he takes ball 1.
You always hate to face those teams that come in with a losing streak. They're not going to lose 162.
Well, Mike Redmond is getting a little bit closer to his first win as a major league manager. Remember when Willie Randolph took over the Mets in 05. It took him to his 6th game to get a win
in Atlanta.
Yep. So 0-5 in 05.
Well, they had a lead going to the 9th on opening day, and Braden Looper gave up a couple of home runs. Mike Piazza had given Willie a cigar to smoke after the first win, and he had to carry it with him to Atlanta. And when they won, that was the day Smoltz struck out 15.
Right.
And Pedro Martinez outdueled him, and Beltran hit a home run, and the Mets squeaked out a win. Otherwise, they would have come home 0-6 for their home opener.
That was, yes, and that was the year that Bobby Cox put Smoltz back in the starting rotation. He had been saving, and he didn't want to leave him in that long, but he had a chance to break the strikeout record. Right. And then he pooped out in the 7th inning.
Rice just trying to find the last out of this inning. Here's a good changeup to Echeverria, and it's 2-2.
That was the year I got some of the best advice I've ever been given by you in Washington. You said, Ronnie, I think the Mets are starting this new TV station. You should look into it.
Yes.
That was very confident on your part. He could have taken your job.
Well, no. They were looking for a third wheel.
He had done his due diligence first.
Reds just hit another home run. They've got 5 of them tonight. They're up 10-0 on the Nats, who will apparently lose for the first time. So I guess while Davies' team might dominate, they're not going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
3-2 from Rice to Echeverria, and the comebacker, Rice knocks it down and is able to make the play to end the inning. But 9 men came to bat for the Marlins, and they scored 5 runs against the Mets bullpen. 7th inning stretch at 6-0. Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. That's a slow-mo that Lucas may not want to watch again.
No.
Veteran Chad Qualls comes on to pitch for the Marlins as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Let's see what he did last season in 60 games at high ERA. It's been a tough couple of years for Chad Qualls. Last 2 couple of years.
Mike Baxter will pinch hit, leading off on the bottom of the 7th. So Alex Sanabia went 6 innings through 89 pitches. He allowed 6 hits. He walked 3. He hit a batter, but he didn't give up a run. Mets have stranded 8 runners in the first 6 innings, and what was a 1-0 game has now become a 6-0 game as Baxter takes ball 1.
Well, the Mets had their chances to get him, but give Sanabia credit. He pitched out of couple jams there.
Valdespin on deck, then Murphy as the Mets try and fight uphill as Baxter punches one foul. Qualls made 3 stops last year in Philly, in the Bronx, and in Pittsburgh. Started out his career in Houston, went to Arizona, Tampa Bay, San Diego after that, so he is well traveled. There was a time when he was a dominant relief pitcher.
He was his best years were with the Astros, and he was the guy that always give you 80 innings a year. He was a workhorse.
How can his hat be that worn already? The 4th game.
And he's behind on Baxter 3-1.
You know what he has? He has that rosin on the side of his hat.
Maybe he had an A.J. Burnett moment and the rosin bag exploded on him.
That's right.
You ever see that happen before?
Yeah. No, I have not.
Only A.J.
See that on the right side of his cap there.
And Baxter rips a base hit. So the guy who had the highest pinch hit batting average in the majors last year. Comes up with a pinch single to start the bottom of the 7th. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Mets have scored 19 runs in their first 13 innings of the season. Have scored just 1, the home run by John Buck yesterday, in their last 18 innings.
It's interesting when these relievers come in, the Mets and the Marlins, the game just slows down. All the relievers tend to be guys that like to work slowly, methodically.
Why do you suppose that is?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just, you know, they feel as though every pitch is so important that they need to put a lot of thought into it, I guess.
Or maybe they figure their time on the stage is short and they want to get as much attention as they can.
Cameo.
Like Hitchcock.
That's right.
It's kind of like you in the opens, Gary. Ronnie and I have to take a side, and you have your Cecil B. DeMille moment.
I don't ask for that
because
you know, in HD nobody wants a close up of me. Okay,
keep the kid in the picture.
1-1 to Valdespin, who has 2 of the Mets' 7 hits tonight. Singled and stole a base in the first, and then singled and was picked off in the 3rd. Popped up to short his last time up. Valdespin making his first start of the year in center field. Every chance we'll see Kirk Neuenhuis get a start tomorrow. Another right-hander going for the Marlins. Their ace, Ricky Nolasco. That's a good sinker by Qualls, and it's 1-2.
Again, another pitcher that cross fires, and the bottom drops out of this changeup.
Would you like to have Matt Moore as your 4th starter?
Yeah, wow.
6 innings tonight, no runs, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, as the Rays beat the Indians 4-0. That's a pretty good starting pitching staff right there.
Even after trading James Shields. You know, think about Moore, though. They gave him that 4 or 5 year contract before last season, and he had kind of a dismal season for him. So, comeback trail.
Burst on the scene right at the end of the season 2 years ago. Pitched that wonderful game against Texas in the postseason. 1-2 to Valdespin, and he just got a piece of that to stay alive.
Well, the Marlins are hoping that their bullpen is going to be stronger than it was last year when, well, Bell really just imploded.
Well, Steve Cishek got the opportunity when Bell couldn't get the job done, and did a pretty good job, and remains the Marlins closer. One-two from Qualls to Valdespin, and that breaking ball in the dirt. Bradley stops it, and Baxter stays at first. I think the weather's taken a turn. We've gone right back to winter. You know, today was such a gorgeous day in New York. Temperature was in the mid-60s. It was sunny. It was a perfect afternoon, which is the case virtually every April afternoon in New York. And it's cold and windy tonight, which is the case virtually every April night in New York. That's a prelude to our trip to Minnesota next week. A Viking
has
made it to Citi Field.
I've never seen a pink Viking before.
Well, I like the Viking hat and Mets colors, though. Very stylish.
I love the shield. That's classic. Look at that. Look at that.
Well, you need protection on a night like that.
That's hilarious. Their phone's going to go off pretty soon, right?
Got good seats. 7th pitch of the at-bat to Valdespin, and he takes that breaking ball low, and so Qualls, after getting ahead, goes to a full count. We're down to 50 degrees now, 24-mile-an-hour gusts. Baxter at first and nobody out. 3-2 to Valdespin, and it's outside, ball 4. It's quite an at-bat by Valdespin. He's on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Got a 6-run lead.
Here's your Mets upcoming schedule. You can listen to every Mets game on Sports Radio 66 and Sports Radio 101.9 FM, WFAN. Day games tomorrow and Sunday with the Marlins, and then the Mets embark on a long first road trip of the season. 3 in Philly, 3 in Minnesota, and 4 in Colorado. Bring your Woolies.
Very grateful that we're in Minnesota over the weekend. 2 day games there. It's going to be the Great White North up there.
Outdoor baseball at Target Field. It's the one big league stadium that's being used right now that I haven't seen. Looking forward to that. As Murphy takes a strike.
You'll love it. In right field, they have the facing in right field is all the limestone that they have in Minnesota that they've quarried and brought in. It's just beautiful.
You know, I'm sure I'll love it, but I would love it a lot more if we were going there in June.
Except June, a lot of bugs in June, Terry.
Okay. You know, it's interesting that you say that. Murphy's 0 for 2 in a walk. I had a friend years ago who was a New Yorker who moved to St. Cloud, Minnesota for a job in radio. And he lived there for about 5 years. And he said, you know, it starts snowing like the last week in September, and it stops snowing the 3rd week in April. He said, then the bad weather comes. Tornadoes.
That's right.
Who decided to settle there? Didn't they know the weather was better further south?
10,000 lakes and you can't use them.
They're all frozen. You can fish on them. Ice fishing.
Oh, there's a big Scandinavian population up there. That's for sure.
Eating lutefisk. You ever have lutefisk?
No.
It's fish soaked in lye. Big Norwegian delicacy. 2-1 to Murphy with Wright on deck. Mets trying to get something started in the 7th, and Murphy hits it out to left center field. Pierre going back deep in the gap, looking up, and it's out of here. Wow. Daniel Murphy with an opposite field 3-run homer, and the Mets are right back in this game. It's 6-3 Miami. Well, he said it yesterday. Murphy had 6 home runs last year, and you expect twice as many from him. And that was impressive, taking one the other way, well up into the stands for a 3-run homer, his first of the year.
Well, this was a rocket launcher. This is an opposite field bomb. All over that fastball. That's way out.
Qualls with the Phillies last year pitched 31 innings, gave up 7 home runs. Of course, that's in that bandbox in Philadelphia. This was a big league shot. There's a strike to right, 0-1. So the Mets, after scoring just 1 run in their previous 18 innings, get 3 on one swing of the bat from Murphy. Wright tonight 1 for 2 in a walk. And David fouls it back.
Well, Qualls trying to throw a sinker here, and guess what? You saw it, folks. No sink.
Didn't sink till it cleared the party deck. Qualls still looking for an out, ahead on Wright 0-2.
That was a hanger.
Mike Dunn getting ready with Ike Davis on deck. Well, Murphy did a great job hitting that ball a long way to the opposite field, but wasn't at bat by Valdespin that preceded it to get aboard. Wright pops it up, and Solano takes charge. That's the first out of the inning.
The one encouraging sign here we've seen early, and I know the Mets are down 3 runs here, as Mike Redmond is coming out, is the home run ball for the Mets.
Mets have now hit 6 home runs in their first 4 games. Mike Redmond signals for the left-hander. Mike Dunn will come in to face Ike Davis. 6-3 Miami in the 7th. We'll be right back. opener plus an in-depth preview of John Neese's second start in tomorrow's Game 2 matchup. Mets Blog presented by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Mike Dunn comes on, the only lefty in Mike Redmond's bullpen.
Well, you see in 60 games what he did last year is 1-5 in save opportunities when Heath Bell was struggling. Mike Dunn, who was originally signed as a position player and changed later.
29 walks in 44 innings. That's ugly.
He's wild. He throws hard and he strays a string.
Ike Davis, the batter. Ike was robbed of a hit on a diving play by Juan Pierre's last time up. Ike 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 15 to start the year. Mets have scored 3 here in the 7th on one swing by Daniel Murphy. Now trying to keep it going with Davis facing Dunn. Marlon Byrd on deck. Lucas Duda behind him, if it gets that far. Davis has had 2 career at-bats against Dunn, 0 for 2. Each team now with 8 hits on the night. And Ike takes a strike, 1-1. It's now Cincinnati 14, Washington nothing. Bengals got that second touchdown.
They did, right?
6 home runs tonight for the Reds. So Washington losing for the first time and getting it all out of their system in one night.
Keep your eye on that one, Gary. Maybe a position player will pitch in that game.
Could be. I don't think Davey likes for that to happen.
No.
Did you guys never had a position player? In fact, I know you didn't when Davey managed the Mets. In fact, I know that because when Bill Pecota pitched for the Mets in Pittsburgh in '92, that was the first time that a Met position player had ever taken the mound.
Not to brag, there weren't too many 14-0 games, Gary.
There was a 26-7 and no position player pitched in that one. Ike goes down swinging for the second out. You know, Joe Sambito and took 10 runs on the chin in that game.
Joe Sambito and Calvin Giraldi each gave up 10 runs in that game. Ball ran back in on Ike Davis. Tied him up, huh, Keith?
Yes, it did. So Ike's struggles continue.
Scott Atchison up in the Mets bullpen. So here's Byrd, who's 1 for 3, singled to center back in the 4th. Probably expect Byrd to get a day off tomorrow. Another day game after a night game. 35 years old. Right-hander on the mound tomorrow. I wonder whether we'll get our first look at Anthony Recker behind the plate tomorrow. Buck played day game after a night game the first time, but Recker's yet to be in a game. Although, you're going to put him with Neese, or would you rather put him with somebody else?
You know, it's interesting for me. Jonathan Neese is a guy that really goes by what the catcher calls. You know, he's not a guy that like Sean Markham if he pitches, or veteran pitchers who call their own games.
Hit sharply, and Chavarria right in front of it. And some interesting footwork by Dobbs, but he stays with it, and the inning is over. So Dunn comes in, gets a couple of key outs after the Mets cut the Marlins lead in half. Daniel Murphy going opposite field and going a long way to the opposite field. His first home run of the year, a 3-run shot. 6-3 Miami after 7. stays in the game in right field, and Scott Atchison comes in to make his second appearance for the Mets.
You know, it's interesting. You see his year with Boston, outstanding last year until he got hurt. Whenever you see bullpens, there's a pecking order that moves up and down, and I think Atchison's going to pitch in more important games coming up here, or more important innings.
It's been a struggle for the Mets bullpen. Tonight, 5 runs allowed by Greg Burke and Scott Rice, although only 2 of those will be earned against their record. Donovan Solano leads off in the 8th. Solano has popped up, drawn an intentional walk, and he started that 7th inning with a ground ball to short that Tejada misplayed for an error to open the door. Into shallow right, Baxter comes on to grab it. 1 away. So Solano retired. Miguel Olivo now will bat for the pitcher. Olivo is the backup catcher, but they actually have 3 catchers now, and they put Casey Kochman on the disabled list today. They called up Kyle Skipworth, who was a left-hand batting catcher, so that frees Olivo up to be used for pinch hitting duty.
Pinch hitting duty and to play a little first base too.
Now, as we know, Olivo from his first stint with the Marlins loves dead red first pitch.
Yes.
And Atchison bounces the first.
I always remember him going after Jose Reyes late in the season. What year was that when Jose went behind? 07. 07. Jose got behind Sandy Alomar Sr.
That's right.
For protection. A 70-year-old man.
Well, the funny thing about it is that Olivo and Reyes were good friends, but that really fired up the Marlins that last weekend of the season.
Sandy got hit, and Olivo, remember, the next day apologized to him. So I didn't mean to hit you, but he hit Reyes.
Let me at him. Let me at him.
How about the Giants? Another shutout.
Did they have Zito? Zito, who beat the Cardinals in the league championship series last year, shut them out again today.
1-0 ball game too. You love that when the pitcher's got to really pitch a tight ball game.
Zito went 7 today, allowed 3 hits. Tell you what, for all the angst about Zito and his contract, he said, what, last year now, right?
Yeah.
A 7-year deal. They got a lot of value late in the game. Hit down to third. It comes up for right. He knocks it down. And does he have time? He does. Throws out Olivo for the second out. So 2 away. Let's go to Gary Apple for a game break presented by your Tri Honda dealer. Gary? Thanks, Gary. Here's Juan Pierre with 2 out and nobody on. Pierre, a single and a sacrifice, 1 for 3. In Toronto, Jose Reyes just hit his first home run for the Blue Jays to tie up that game with the Red Sox 4-4. I'll tell you what, the way the ball flies in Toronto. Yeah. How about R.A. Dickey's reaction to the home run that he gave up on opening day?
Yeah, his hand, both hands on top of his head, like incredulous, couldn't believe it.
Well, the ball just flies out of the Rogers Center, and it's going to be interesting for those guys. And there's a lot on the table for the Blue Jays this year in terms of expectations because of all the moves they made.
I still pick the Rays to win that division.
I agree with you. You know, much like this ball club right here last year, all the moves they made. The Marlins.
Some of the same guys.
Yep, they blew them up.
Reyes and Burley were 2 of the big acquisitions from Miami last year, and now they're in Toronto.
And it's hard to do that when you have a Yankee team that won 95 games last season, but you know they've got an all-star team on the disabled list. Teixeira, Granderson, Jeter. Hughes isn't back yet. There's Toronto's off-season additions. Some all-stars there also.
Pierre just keeps fighting them off, and that one caught John Buck. And he is a little shaken right now.
Is that one of those that runs up your forearm?
Got him on that left arm. Ray Ramirez, the trainer, out to see whether Buck's okay. Looking at that left elbow.
Almost looked like it left a mark there, doesn't it?
Looked like the side of Chad Qualls' hat.
Yeah.
Well, there's the way the roster breaks down for the Mets. The Mets only took 4 starting pitchers north, and they will add a 5th on Sunday when Aaron Laffey is activated. So one of the relievers is going to have to go. Pierre lifts one to shallow center, which is where Valdespin is playing. And so Scott Atchison comes in, settles things down with a 1-2-3 top of the 8th. Mets will try and go back to work in the bottom of the inning, down 6-3. Of the New York Mets. And by State Farm, today's State Farm agent of the game is Gil Walton of the Bronx. Contact Gil's office at gilwalton.net. A night to try and stay warm with the wind gusting here at Citi Field. Temperature now in the upper 40s. Mets trying to battle back from a 6-0 deficit. They've cut that deficit in half. A.J. Ramos is on to pitch for the Marlins as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Well, he might be smaller in stature at 5'10", but he throws 95 plus, and in the minor leagues just struck out just about everybody.
Lucas Duda leads off. Duda's been on base twice tonight with a walk and a hit by pitch. Duda, Buck, and Tejada due up for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ramos, the 4th Miami pitcher. Alex Sanabia went 6 scoreless to start. And the off-speed pitch outside. 1-1. Ramos pitched at Texas Tech. His value dropped when he suffered a torn elbow ligament as a senior, so he dropped to the 21st round. Starter in college as a reliever in the minor leagues. He has averaged 12.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. And there's a fastball for a strike, 1-2.
I don't know what Lucas was looking for. I mean, this guy's gotta know he's a fastball pitcher.
He's got a 3-run lead.
But Troy Hawkins up in the Mets bullpen getting ready for the top of the 9th. Ramos with a 1-2, and the breaking ball tied him in knots, and Duda went around strike 3. Nice looking slider from Ramos for the first out.
Well, there's a case where Lucas, the pitch to hit was the second fastball, and now you got the 1 and 2, and you get this. That's pretty wicked. I mean, he did swing.
So 1 out and nobody on now. John Buck. Ramos was up late last year, got 11 games with the Marlins, and looked good in that audition and earned him a spot this year on an otherwise veteran-laden bullpen. Here's Buck, and he takes the breaking ball down for ball 1. Buck is 1 for 3, singled over short back in the second, has flied out twice since. Marlins 6 runs, 8 hits. The Mets 3 runs, 8 hits. A 5-run 7th inning from Miami stretched their lead to 6-0. Murphy's 3-run homer cut the lead in half. Now Ramos behind on Buck 2-0. And that one in for a strike, although not caught by Brantley. No harm with nobody on.
See Buck stepping out. That ball caught Brantley on the thumb. Kind of handcuffed him.
After Buck got drilled by a foul ball on his left elbow last half inning. I mean, that's why you wonder why any catcher can ever hit. I mean,
right.
you're there behind the plate, you take that shot off your arm, and then a half inning later on a cold, windy night, you got to go up to bat.
It's not so much the first game you play. It's the night that it happens. It's also the next day. It just carries over. You get the swelling.
One more reason why Buck might get a day off tomorrow. And that curveball misses. 3-2. He's got a lot of different pitches in that arsenal.
He does. Well, he's got an arsenal of a former starting pitcher. Curveball, slider, changeup, fastball.
3-2 to Buck with 1 out. And Buck gets one off the end of the bat to center field, but hit pretty well. Ruggiano back to the warning track and has room to grab it. Didn't get all of that, but almost got enough. 2 out.
See if he got this a little bit towards the end of the bat. Not quite sure. Thought the pitch was away. No, got under it.
You had the right call, though, Gary. He did not hit that well. It was off the end of the bat. It made a funny sound, but it really shows you how the ball was jumping out of here.
It also shows you how strong John Buck is.
Yeah.
We've already seen that. I mean, he hit a home run off the facing of the second deck yesterday, which you don't see all that often in left field.
A little bit towards the end.
Just reaching just a bit.
Just enough off the fat of the bat.
So 2 out and nobody on. And now Ruben Tejada. Ruben's 1 for 3, double down the left field line back in the second. Mike Baxter's hitting 9th in the order. He's on deck. Pitchers in the 5-hole for the Mets. And the slider outside to Tejada. Cincinnati 15, Washington nothing. They're in the bottom of the 8th. The Nats are the last unbeaten team in baseball after the first series of the year. Every team in the majors has won a game with the exception of the Marlins. Two and 1 to Tejada.
I like this guy's arm running.
Yep.
Boy, he's got good stuff.
I don't think the radar gun really does him justice either.
Well, you know, he hides the ball very well. It kind of comes out of a chute with Ramos.
Just 5'10". A lot of power in that right arm, and he dents the outside corner to get even on Tejada.
That's an awful big M on that hat, isn't it? I like it.
A lot of colors. 2-2. A little extra on that fastball and runs the count full.
Thought he had him there. A tough one to take. Oh, it had plate too. It wasn't high. Umpire vapor locked.
3-2 to Tejada with Baxter on deck. And he walked him. So the Mets have a 2-out base runner. It's 5 walks tonight for Marlins pitchers. Mets need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate. Baxter's been up once. That was as a pinch hitter in the 7th, and he rifled a base hit to right. His first hit of the season. Valdespin would be next. So the Mets trying to give themselves a chance here in the 8th. And all of a sudden, Ramos having trouble throwing strikes. Took a little stumble as he delivered that pitch.
You know, I think the one thing he's going to have to do is kind of simplify it a little. You said how the weapons he has, Gary. He's got 4 pitches. But in these situations, you really want to have 2 working. Be aggressive with those 2.
And Baxter being patient as always. He's ahead now 2-0, and Brantley runs it back out to Ramos.
I almost wonder, Ron, that you look at the motion. There's a lot of power in that, isn't there?
Well, you can see his legs. He's got big legs. He's strong.
I just wonder, he should have been in the dugout, strike 3, and I wonder if he lost the plate. He didn't get that call on Tejada.
Chuck Hernandez, the Marlins pitching coach, out to talk to Ramos.
Chuck was a pitching coach in Detroit for some time.
Seems very odd not to see Randy St. Clair out there. Of course, Randy's now in the Mets organization, working in the minor leagues. Longtime big league pitching coach. Two 2-0 now to Baxter with Tejada aboard. And there's a strike at the knees, 2-1.
I just don't think he should have took there. You know, it's a fastball to you. You're down 3 runs. One swing, it's a 6-5 ball game.
And now it's 3-1. Well, you got Valdespin on deck, and we know about his late inning power. Well, that was Baxter gets aboard. All of a sudden, it gets interesting.
Don't agree with that pitch selection there. The breaking ball. Now he's 3-1. He's got to come with a fastball.
And Baxter watches ball 4, and the Mets get the tying run to the plate after they trailed 6-0. Murphy a 3-run homer in the 7th, and now 2 aboard for Valdespin with 2 out in the 8th.
You know, this is the catch-22 you have with young relievers, is that they have wipeout stuff, but they can't always get it in the strike zone, and that's what is happening to Ramos.
And there is no backup plan. There's nobody up in the Marlins bullpen, which is a little surprising.
It's a little day late and a nickel short.
I mean, they're looking for their first win of the year. They're going to get somebody up now, but they've got John Roush down there. They've got Ryan Webb down there, veteran pitchers. But they're going to stick with Ramos to face Valdespin, who's been on base 3 times tonight with 2 singles and a walk. Valdespin hit 8 home runs last year. Tejada at second. Baxter at first with 2 down. See how aggressive Jordani is here. And he is hit by the pitch, and the bases are loaded.
Wow.
And Murphy, who had a 3-run homer in the last inning, will come up with the bases full. So Ramos completely losing the plate after not getting that 2-2 pitch to Tejada. Nothing has gone right for him since. Meanwhile, Valdespin a little shaken. Got hit in the shin.
Well, you know, if he's hurt, then I totally understand this. But, you know, you'd like to get Valdespin to first base and not take too much time to allow the reliever to get ready to come in for this game. You want to keep Ramos out there, don't you?
Steve Cishek, the closer for the Marlins, getting up. Remember, it's a cold, windy night. It's hard to get ready in a hurry.
Yep.
So Valdespin will stay in. And now Murphy, 3-run homer in the 7th. He hit one deep over the party deck and into the seats in left center. Tejada at third, Baxter at second, Valdespin at first, and 2 down.
Go to ripping here. You got a guy that's got to throw a strike.
Tying runs are on base. And Murphy takes a strike. A spinning breaking ball.
There was a backdoor slider on him, and he's in black.
Well, the fastball, the last fastball he threw hit Valdespin, so plan B.
David Wright on deck. Murphy's never hit a grand slam.
I don't get that call. Third pitch.
Maybe his fourth.
Yeah.
Change up there.
Well.
Now the 1-1. And Murphy takes just off the plate. That's a big call right there, 2-1.
And look at the 88 mile an hour on that fastball. So he's a little Archie Bell here. He's doing the tighten up.
Two and one to Murphy. Ball 3. Well, Ramos has started out by striking out Duda and getting Buck on a long fly ball. 2 walks and a hit batsman later. Now he's behind on Murphy, 3-1 with the bases full.
That's not what you wish for.
It's like a ball.
Always wanted to be a major league pitcher. Well, here you go.
Ramos behind the 8 ball. And Murphy fouls it back. 3-2.
Boy, that was almost the same pitch he hit for a 3-run home run. Up in the strike zone, out over the plate.
Good hat.
So now the merry-go-round will be in motion. Bobby Parnell looking on. Tejada, Baxter, and Valdespin will all be running with 3-2 and 2 down. 3-2. Bouncing ball for Solano. And Ramos is able to work out of a big 2-out jam in the 8th inning. Murphy grounds out with the bases full. It stays 6-3 New York going to the 9th. Ninth inning, A.J. Ramos getting debriefed after surviving that bottom of the 8th.
Well, you know, Chuck Hernandez is a veteran pitching coach. He's been around. It's hard to judge these guys when they get in tight games, even though it's 6-3. That probably felt real tight to the youngster Ramos. But you see his talent, not refined yet.
Sure, it felt especially tight. Bases loaded, 3-1 to Murphy. LaTroy Hawkins has been around the block. 40-year-old right-hander on the pitch for the Mets in the 9th.
He pitched in the second game of the year and struggled a little bit with his control. See his numbers last year.
Gave up 3 runs in that game on Wednesday. Faces Placido Polanco, who has the big hit in this game, and he lines one into right center field. A leadoff hit for Polanco, his 3rd hit of the night. Time to check in with the studio, see what's coming up on WB Mason Post Game Live. Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda. Well, the Mets have kept Giancarlo Stanton in check. He's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Now facing LaTroy Hawkins, the 5th Met pitcher of the night, and he takes the fastball in tight. The Braves have beaten the Cubs 4-1. Mike Minor 7 1/3 for the win. Craig Kimbrell the save. He only struck out 1.
The Braves are going to need it out of Minor this year. They need him to improve on last year. A nice little season last, little breakout, nice breakout season. Excuse me.
So the Braves go to 3-1 on the year.
I don't know if you got to see Tehran pitch in spring training for the Braves, but he was outstanding. Went 15-3 2 seasons ago in AAA. Struggled a little bit last year, but seems ready to go.
Well, with the trade of Delgado and Hansen, there's a lot on him now.
Well, they had a choice. The trade, either Tehran or Delgado, kept Tehran. It seems like a good choice.
And don't forget, they got rid of the other pitcher to the Angels. Hansen, their other starter. So
drilled to center. Valdespin back, gets turned around, can't find it, and it's off the wall. Stanton has his first hit of the night. Polanco being waved home. Murphy's relay throw to the plate. He may get him, and he does. Perfect relay by Murphy to cut down Polanco at the plate for the first down of the inning. On to third went Stanton.
Boy, nobody out. You got an error in judgment there from Joe Espada. This ball, oh boy, is it a rocket.
I mean, this is off the wall in center field, and it was a line drive.
Perfectly played by Valdespin. Fundy's right there. Good relay home.
I'll tell you, Polanco, the veteran, was very upset at the third base coach for sending him.
It should have been second and third and nobody out. Instead, it's 1 out on a runner at third.
Absolutely. Infield in for the Mets. They got to shut this run down. Nice play all the way around defensively by the Mets.
Infield in for Dobbs, who has 2 RBIs tonight, a home run and a sacrifice fly. 6-3 Marlins in the 9th. But it really gives you an idea just what Stanton is capable of. 408 feet of BB off the center field fence.
That's one of those stories that 50 years from now, Hawkins will say, you know what, the ball just went over my head. I jumped for it, and then it went off the center field wall.
Stanton gets credit for a double, third on the throw. Only his second hit of the season in 15 at-bats. Hawkins behind again, 2-0 to Dobbs, with Ruggiano the on-deck hitter.
One of the things that the Mets relievers in spring training did so well was throw strikes and be aggressive. As you can see the numbers here.
That's outstanding.
That's
13
great.
of 15, getting that runner in from third with less than 2 outs.
Situational hitting at its best. But so far early, the relievers have struggled with the strike zone.
Well, pitching very carefully to Dobbs. They may just put him on now, set up the double play with Ruggiano.
I don't think Hawkins, he's a veteran. He's going to go after Ruggiano, try to get a double play.
Problem is Ruggiano has a little bit of speed, which Dobbs does not, but they're not going to intentionally walk.
And Dobbs is going to be swinging 3-0. He always did when he was in Philadelphia.
I think I'd give him the intentional walk. And Dobbs takes a strike.
I've been inclined there as a manager. Let him swing 3-0. Let him hack. It's a big run out there at third base.
Stanton at third with 1 out. 3-1 to Dobbs. And now 3-2. Jeremy Hefner started for the Mets tonight. He allowed just a run on 5 hits over 6 innings. But Greg Burke gave up 4 runs, only 1 of them earned in a third of an inning. Scott Rice, 2/3 of an inning, 1 run, 2 hits. Scott Atchison pitched another 1-2-3 inning in the 8th. And now Hawkins trying to avoid trouble here in the 9th. But he's given up hits to the first 2 batters he's faced. Now the 3-2 to Dobbs. Threw an off-speed pitch and he fouled it off. Well, it's over in Cincinnati. The last unbeaten team in the majors has a loss. Reds 15. That's nothing.
No position player pitched.
I don't believe they did. Homer Bailey got the win. Reds hit 6 home runs. 3-2. Toward the hole. Great stop by Murphy. The runner holds and they get the out at first. I can't imagine why Stanton wasn't running on contact.
Jeez.
He's still at third base. Murphy with his second terrific defensive play of the inning.
How not to win friends and influence people when Tom hits a hard ground ball and he's not moving. He's going backwards, in fact, at contact.
He's got to go on that.
I think he just misread it, thought it was a line drive.
No way.
It's called vapor lock.
I mean, maybe he thought it was right at Murphy, but you got to take that secondary lead and be on your move. As soon as you see him dive, you got to go.
Heck of a play by Murph. That is a heck of a play, and Stanton should be home.
Now the infield back with 2 out for Justin Ruggiano. Well, LaTroy Hawkins has given up 3 bullets in this inning.
He's got 2 outs.
Somehow has 2 outs. Well, Murphy threw out a guy at the plate, and now he makes a great diving stop for the second out. Let's see what Murph has up his sleeve for Ruggiano.
Caught that ball behind him.
A rocket into left field, and that'll bring home a run. So Stanton can trot down the line. Ruggiano has his second RBI of the night, and it's 7-3 Miami. 4 batters, 4 ropes against LaTroy Hawkins, and a run is in.
Well, despite themselves, the Marlins do score a run.
I haven't seen much of a breaking ball. It just seems like Hawkins is just throwing fastball changeups, and he hasn't really been tricking anybody.
So the Marlins, who were held to 1 run in 3 games by the Nationals pitching staff, have now put up 7 runs and 11 hits tonight. Here's Brantley, who has a pair of doubles. He's driven in a run, 2 for 3. There goes Ruggiano. Bucks throw right on the money, but dropped by Tejada. Boy, Tejada is really having a rough go of it. That should be an error on him as well. That should be a caught stealing and an error on the shortstop. Ball was right in his glove.
Let's see if it hits the ground. If it doesn't hit the ground, it's got to be an E6. Can you assume the out if you're a scorekeeper? Oh, he's got to make that play.
Well, they're giving Ruggiano credit for a stolen base, but to me, that's a caught stealing and an E6. That ball's right in his glove. So Ruggiano has his second stolen base of the night. He's in scoring position with 2 out. And Brantley swings over the changeup. 0-2. I don't think we've ever seen Ruben Tejada have a stretch of fielding miscues as we have in the first 4 games of this season.
I think it's a focus and concentration issue.
Everybody's got to play in the cold.
You think that's it?
I don't know.
Maybe he needs one of those hoods under his cap. Reyes used to wear those in the cold.
Shame of it was the throw by Buck.
Well, perfect. Struck him out, so Hawkins finally puts an end to the inning. The Marlins get 3 hits and tack on a run. Mets come up in the bottom of the 9th, down 7-3. And left many local youth baseball and softball leagues with no place to play. This year, SNY is reaching out with the SNY Play Ball Award presented by New York Community Bank, offering $5,000 grants to local leagues in need of help. To apply, visit Facebook.com/SNY today. 7-3 Miami as we go to the bottom of the ninth, and even though there's no save situation, Marlins will go to their closer Steve Cishek for the bottom of the ninth.
Well, trying to secure their first win in save opportunities last season. He was 18 for 22. Got 15 saves down there on our graphic.
Wright Davis and the pitcher's spot due up for the Mets in the bottom of the ninth. Well, the Mets had their chance. They were down 6-0. Murphy hit a 3-run homer in the 7th. Mets loaded him up against A.J. Ramos in the 8th. Murphy with another crack at it, grounded out. And now it's 7-3 Miami as Wright leads off the bottom of the ninth. David's 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. And takes a borderline strike from Cishek. Cishek inherited the closer's job when Heath Bell imploded last year. Bell is now in Arizona, and Cishek in firm command of the closer's job as Wright fights that one off, and it's 0-2.
You don't see many sidearmers throw as hard as Cishek. 92-mile-an-hour on that fastball.
Tough look for a right-hand batter. Wright is 2 for 8 against Cishek. Trying to finish this one off for Alex Sanabia, his first start in the big league since 2011. 6 scoreless innings for Sanabia. Worked around 10 base runners in those 6 innings. Slider away, 1-2. Chad Qualls gave up the 3-run homer to Murphy, but Mike Dunn settled down the rest of the 7th, and then Ramos got himself in and out of trouble in the 8th. Davis on deck, and then the pitcher's spot. Mets still have Kirk Neuenhuis as a left-hand pinch hitter. 2-2 now to Wright. What is with all these pitchers with no sleeves, Rob?
I don't get it.
It's cold.
I know it's a macho thing, and discretion is a better part of Ranger, right? I mean, this guy's hard enough to come into these games and without any kind of protection on your arms.
Well, especially with the fabrics that they have now, where you don't have to worry about your arm getting cold from the sweat as Wright goes down looking for the first out. With the microfibers they have now, with the sweat being wicked away from your body, you would figure that it's better than ever to wear sleeves in the cold. Tomorrow, game 2 of this series, the opening day starters go back to the mound. John Neese against Ricky Nolasco. Our coverage begins at 12:30 tomorrow, right here on SNY.
I'm old enough that when I first came up, they used to have those wool under your uniform, those long sleeves.
Yep. Itchy.
Oh, awful.
Ike Davis 0 for 4 tonight. Now 1 for 16 to start the season. And Cishek misses away, ball 1. Davis 0 for 3 against Cishek. And Ike takes it wide, 2-0.
Well, unlike Greg Burke, who kind of lowers his head and throws, well, you know what? He is not submarine either. He's just coming from the side also.
And now behind on Davis, 3-0. Kirk Neuenhuis out on deck to pinch hit.
He's got a 4-run lead. Throw strikes.
There's one.
Jeez.
Well, like hoping that his slow start doesn't translate into the long-term slow start he had last year. He's up forward with a walk, and the Mets have a 1-out base runner in the ninth. That is 7 walks to go with 2 hit batsmen issued by the Marlins pitching staff. The Mets just have not been able to take advantage. They've left 11 runners on base over the first 8 innings. Now it's Nieuwenhuis, just his second at bat of the season. Kirk, who was a late and somewhat surprising addition to the roster. It had been assumed that the Mets were going to keep an extra backup infielder. Omar Quintanilla looked like he had the club made, but really in the last few days of spring training, the decision was made that the Mets needed Nieuwenhuis's outfield defense on the roster. And I think that goes back to the discussions that the brass had during spring training, that had he not gotten hurt, there was a chance that Matt Dendecker was going to make the club just for his outfield defense. Of course, Dendecker wound up breaking his wrist, and he's out for 2 months. And a fastball strike, 1-2 to Nieuwenhuis.
I think part of it comes from Gary's having no true center fielder, although you have some guys who can play this position. But also, if you have a lead in late in the game, of course, Lucas Duda's position.
That, and also, if you have Duda in left, you need a stronger center fielder, which the Mets really don't have unless Nieuwenhuis is on the field. It's a real balancing act for Terry to try and get his best team out there, offense and defense. Now, when Nieuwenhuis first came up last year, you said, well, got something here offensively, but he tailed off so mightily and then didn't hit at all this spring around an injury that you just wonder what you can get from him offensively right now. He clubs that one to left center field, and that'll go up the gap and go to the wall. Well, there's a bit of an answer. Davis around third. He's going to be waved home. Echeverria's relay throw is cut off. It's an RBI double for Kirk Nieuwenhuis as a pinch hitter to cut the Marlins lead to 7-4. Well, we saw a lot of that from Nieuwenhuis when he first came up last year, driving the ball to left center.
He really got on top of this fastball, up and away, belt high. That's how you do it. And that ball is a one hopper off the wall. That's nice hitting. And Ike running so much better this year than he did last year. Of course, with the ankle injury that he a couple years ago in Colorado, he's running so much better. Nice hitting.
So the Mets need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate in the ninth. And Lucas Duda takes a strike. Duda's 0 for 2. He's walked and been hit by a pitch tonight. Mets now with 4 runs and 9 hits. The Marlins 7 runs and 11 hits. We're in the bottom of the ninth. Off-speed pitch from Cishek misses high, and it's 1-1.
Boy, oh boy, this is good. Mike Redmond, and I tell you what, he's going to do a Rolaids commercial like Davey did back in '84.
If he's got that first victory cigar, it's still being held in abeyance. Duda's done well against Cishek, 2 hits and 4 career at bats. And Lucas hits one back up the middle, a base hit. Nieuwenhuis around third. He heads on in. It's an RBI single for Lucas Duda. Now it's 7-5, and the Mets will get the tying run to the plate.
Well, Submariners are going to have trouble with the opposite batter, right, left, right. They really have a hard time throwing the ball inside the lefties. And your approach is up the middle on them and wait for that ball away. Lucas, nicely done.
So Nieuwenhuis and Duda with RBI hits, and now John Buck, who caught Steve Cishek last year, gets a chance to bat against him in a big spot, tying run at the plate in the bottom of the ninth. Buck tonight is 1 for 4, hit a long fly ball to left center in the 8th inning, and takes a strike.
Buck's had 2 hits in every game. He has 1 tonight. He's due.
2 home runs on the year. 5 driven in. Duda at first and 1 out. And Buck takes a slider for a strike, and it's 0-2. Justin Turner has come out on deck to bat for Ruben Tejada. 0-2 to Buck. Well outside, and Brantley has to backhand it. Mets now with 10 hits. They were down 1-0 till the 7th when the Mets bullpen gave up 5 runs, and it looked like They were sunk, but Murphy hit a 3-run homer in the 7th. And the Mets have scored 2 here in the 9th, and it's 7-5 Miami. And Buck fouls it away. Cishek 23 pitches deep into this 9th inning. 1-2. Inside off the mitt of Brantley. That'll send Duda down to second and take the double play out of order.
Jesus.
Second one that Brantley's failed to catch tonight. Pass ball. So Duda now at second. His run means nothing, but the guy at the plate does. 2-2 to John Buck. And he gets him with a high fastball. Cishek fans Buck for the second out. Second strikeout for Steve Cishek, and the Mets are down to their final out. And Justin Turner will bat for Ruben Tejada.
Just Keith, I think he added on a little bit. Just real good fastball. Best one of the night by Cishek.
Well, he had him 2 strikes, 2 and behind the count, and you got to go up the middle, and he came in and went inside and got him.
So now Turner, who got a start yesterday and went 3 for 4 in his first game of the season. 2 singles and a double. Mets have Colin Cowgill, who has more power on the bench in a game-tying situation, but going with Turner, more of a known quantity, especially in these RBI spots. He gets tied up on Cishek's first pitch.
Well, went around. I think his thinking, Terry's thinking here is, you've got Baxter in the on-deck circle, left-hand hitter. There's no other left-hander in the bullpen. You want a guy that's got Turner's a good line drive hitter. Keep the inning going, get Baxter up, which is a good matchup against Cishek.
Oh, 0-1 to Turner. And Justin takes the slider off the plate, and it's 1-1. With Cishek really throwing a lot of pitches in this 9th inning. He struck out right to start the inning on a 3-2 borderline pitch, but then a walk to Davis, a run-scoring double from Neuenhuis. Duda singled in a run. Buck struck out for the second out. Now Turner trying to keep it going. 1-1. Fouled away, and now the Mets are down to their last strike.
Boy, that run given up on the top of the 9th looms large now, doesn't it? Yep. Whew.
Although the way the inning was going, it could have been 3 or 4 runs.
Of course, yeah. Still.
That's played some great defense to keep LaTroy Hawkins from further damage.
Slider here, huh, Keith?
1-2 from Cishek, and Turner takes it high. 2-2. Justin who battled ankle and calf injuries during spring training. Late call to put him on the roster right before the season began. Two and 2 to Justin. Little tapper to the right side. Dobbs stays with us. It stays down. It almost flips it past Cishek, but they make the connection. And Mike Redmond has his first victory as a major league manager as the Marlins defeat the Mets tonight 7-5.
Well, just a really kind of a sloppy ball game here. Mets had tons of opportunities. They banged out 10 hits. But as you said, Gary, they left, 12 men on base. Had their opportunities, just couldn't connect. Murphy, the one big star, a 3-run shot. So just not a good performance tonight by the Mets. Sanabia pitched a good ball game.
Well, 2 days in a row they've wasted a really good starting performance tonight by Hefner, with the bullpen giving up 6 runs over the last 3 innings.
Hefner allowed just 1 run over 6 innings. Tonight's game summary presented by Time Warner Cable. The Mets starting pitchers have a 1.38 ERA over the first 4 games of the year, but the bullpen has not held up there.